because Mark as well has traditionally been a position 5 and a support. So, you know, potentially just they didn't really have the position 1 in their lineup to make that run, and they've had to make some switch ups. But everyone in UOW has looked incredibly strong, and so I've been back into playing ranked a little bit, and I've been playing a lot of the Tide Hunter. This hero is broken. Huge fan of it. UOW pick it up instantly. It's going to be answered by the Dawnbreaker and the Lion, so a lot of stuns already from GIGACHADELAIDE. Andros, he's got kind of the pickings here. If he wants the Lion, can make a lot of plays. If he wants kind of a cheesy hero like the Dawnbreaker, then he can go down that route as well.
Yeah, either way, Dawnbreaker and Lion locked in here. Now, you would think normally this might be the 4 and the 5, but Dawnbreaker, you know, we have seen it flex to a couple of other roles in the past, so a little bit hard to say exactly where GIGACHADELAIDE is going to send that one, but Tide Hunter Ogre Magi is going to be the response here from UOW. And then Shadow Demon getting banned out by UOW Esports. I don't know if you were there to catch it, but Reemnizzle actually, in the semi-finals, I believe, put on a amazing display with the Shadow Demon in the mid lane, position 2 Shadow Demon, and pulled it out as a bit of a pocket pick, and ended up turning the entire series around when GIGACHADELAIDE had their backs to the wall a little bit, and ended up getting them all the way here to grand finals. So interesting to see we're seeing target bans on that already.
Just double checking, is the mic all good?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. We got to cast the Shadow Demon, I think, very early on in the group stages, I believe. So I didn't get to see the semi-finals though, but it looks like a pretty good game for the Shadow Demon. So the respected ban, I should say, coming through from UOW. One thing I'm going to mention as well with their opening picks here for UOW, this is a lineup that can heavily enable the carry either from Mark or Gubala in the position 2. You've got the minus blood loss to be able to amplify you as well. So this is going to do a incredible amount to help them as the game goes later and later.
Certainly is, but Venomancer going to be one of the bans here. It seems like all of the pocket picks that we've seen Reemnizzle pulling out over the course of this season are just being the target of assault from UOW Esports right here in this game 1. They want to take away the Shadow Demon, want to take away the Viper, and we've also seen him pull out Mars in the mid lane as well. So 3 bans that could be potentially aimed at Reemnizzle's head, which is very interesting. But first pick of the phase here going to be Night Stalker for GIGACHADELAIDE.
Alright, so they have one way to be able to go through the Tide Hunter Kraken shell. The AoE Silence is a great way to be able to deal with him. Also potentially getting on top of any squishy heroes in the backline, because UOW, they've opened up with the Tide Ogre, some heroes that like to be very far on the front. So you know these last 3 picks are more than likely going to be pushed to a squishier role. So the Night Stalker can give you a way to get on top of them on the backline, just provides a much easier time as well for the Lion to find that initiation.
Certainly, Night Stalker has been a bit of a favorite sort of hero in the Uni season. I know that over the course of, you know, the competitive scene, pro play worldwide, the international, it did actually start to pick up. But when Night Stalker was a little bit of a sleeper pick, not picked super often, it was actually the AEL teams that were, you know, making this sort of low pick rate at the time, Night Stalker pick in the position 3 role, quite popular and having really great results with it. So, you know, no surprise that we're seeing it come out here once again in the grand final, and that's likely going to be played by Unleashed on the position 3 role. But looks like UOW Esports here really taking some time with this 3rd pick. Aries, what are they looking for?
They're probably looking for their, I think you save your Gubala hero, because you don't see Reem's position 2, so you're going to hold out on that. I wouldn't mind seeing them go for their position 1 and their other support. All up for the Bloodseeker, so a way to deal with the Night Stalker. Just he's a hero that very much relies on his positioning and mobility, and you pick up the Dark Willow as well. Someone that can make a lot of plays, gives you some kill potential as well, because the Ogre doesn't really have that. The Tide doesn't have it, so now the Dark Willow can try and go for some kill threat, and I guess it synergizes as well with the Bloodseeker, because you have the Rupture into the Terrorize.
Silencer.
Certainly. We are seeing Silencer picked up here as well. Now for GIGACHADELAIDE and final ban phase, you have to wonder where exactly the bans are going to be going here. Likely towards, the position 2s on both teams. That would be typical. Obviously, Dawnbreaker 2 has seen a teeny bit of play. You get level 6 very fast and you're allowed to make some crazy global plays with the Solar Guardian very early on, but it's not something that we've seen Reamnizzle play thus far, so it'll be interesting if they go that way, whether or not UOW still decide to attack the position 2s, or maybe try and go for more general bans. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's a lot of flex on GIGACHADELAIDE. You've got the Silencer that can be played as a 5 or a 2. The reason why I think they could go for a Silencer core is because I think Aghanim Scepter is incredibly strong with the mute effect on items, and as the game goes on, the Glaive's pure damage is great versus a Tide Hunter. The only concern is that you're against a Bloodseeker, and Rupture is great against heroes that are very reliant on your positioning as a ranged hero like the Silencer. And then you've also got the flex between the Dawnbreaker, can play as a support, pretty much a core. Nothing's guaranteed right now for GIGACHADELAIDE, but for UOW, it's obvious. They're looking for a position 2, looking to try and ban out some of Gubala's heroes. They get rid of the TA, the Wind Ranger as well. Wouldn't mind seeing them go for some sort of like win condition in the position 2, considering the Bloodseeker isn't traditionally known to be someone that can scale as well into the late game. You've got a very, very strong mid-game timing, but late-game potential as a win condition is a little bit lacking. They're not going to go down that route, though. Will be the Batrider picked up here for UOW, so something that Gubala can play really fast tempo with the Bat.
Yeah, definitely Batrider is locked in here. And you think that's a Batrider 2 going on to Gubala, yeah?
I think so, yeah. And now I think GIGACHADELAIDE are looking for a Purge Slark would be the prime option versus the Batrider and the Tide, but then you look at the Bloodseeker and the Rupture is probably the biggest counter to the Slark, so now you have to go down the list. You could think about putting a traditional position 3 into the position 2 role, something like the Legion Commander, for an example, could be pretty decent. Honestly, Abaddon, because the Tide matchup, but again, those heroes are all melee, rely on their positioning, and Rupture's super annoying, so I'm intrigued to see what GIGACHADELAIDE want to do to deal with the Batrider, and they're just going to go for a hero that is a win condition. They didn't really have this late game gotcha pick where we can take it the distance and be convinced with our lineup. But Medusa doesn't really deal with the Batrider, and it looks like they weren't even worried about that. Ream picking up the Dawnbreaker, it's not going to be an easy matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about this a little bit. Dawnbreaker can go that position 2 in the mid lane, and the main purpose of that is getting that very fast 6 for the Solar Guardian plays around the map. We'll have to see if they end up going that way, but Andros going to be taking the Silencer down to the hard lane with Unleashed, like we talked about, and Psycho and Hugh on the Medusa will be in the safe lane. Over on the side of UOW Esports here, though, looks like they are having a little bit of contention on who's going to be their 2 and who is going to be their 3, and they're going to decide that Gubala is going to be taking the Batrider into the mid lane after all, with Billy the Brawler taking it down to the hard lane on position 3, and then it is going to be, I believe, Davai Lama joining him, and then MBTW and Kid on the Bloodseeker Ogre Magi for the safe lane. So, some interesting matchups we have here, but Aries, of course, before we hop into our game, we should be talking about our wonderful sponsors that have brought you the entire season so far for the AEL Uni League Dota 2, as well as our beautiful grand finals right here.
Of course, I mean, we start off with Chatime. You make it fruity with Chatime and try the new Peach and Lychee Oolong tea range. They are the fastest growing iced tea franchise in Australia, with over 120 Chatime tea breweries with a commitment to quality ingredients and mix-ins and a flair for innovative flavor combinations to brew nothing but the very best iced teas. You've got Predator to conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming today. They are the gaming PC partner of AEL. Predator puts power and precision in your hands to elevate your gaming experience in every way with quality and performance thanks to Predator. AOC is a global leader in monitor display technology. For more than 50 years, AOC has delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers worldwide. Today, the company offers a wide selection of stylish monitors for home, office, or gaming. Indomie, you can win the ultimate gamer package with worth 3,500. Show how you game with Indomie Australia. For more information and to enter, head over to indomie.com.au. Indomie noodles are made from carefully selected ingredients with the best quality flour and fresh spices from the natural resources of Indonesia. And then last up, we got Rig. What it takes to win. Rig develops headsets delivering superior audio for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. Like you said, these are the guys. Oh, we got battle breaking.
We got a big fight already. MPTW dropping very low. The chase is continuing. Reemnizzle, though, maybe going to be the one getting caught out as he steps a little bit too far to chase after him. Gubala should be able to finish this one up with the sticky napalm coming through. Billy the Brawler there to cut him off. And yes, indeed, Reemnizzle going to be getting first blood. Or is he over the wall? Looking to maybe escape here. He does not have the TP scroll for 24 seconds. Looking to maybe try and deny himself to the tower and split the gold. He does indeed able to get the execute to the tower. Bit of a misplay there potentially, but an already fast-paced start to these grand finals, Aries.
Oh, without a doubt. Maybe even the Lion could be in trouble too. Two stickies. Kubala's going to continue the chase, but means that he won't get a body block on the creep wave. Neither will Dyer's position to as well, but here we go. I mean, we had such a long sponsory because, of course, these guys wouldn't have made this tournament possible in all the previous tournaments that we've had for the Australian University League. So a big shout out to them. And we are underway with the grand finals with Radiant kicking it off. And Gubala, it's kind of big that it didn't get all of the gold that it was split between the heroes, because I think this is a rough matchup for Reem. I wonder if the Celestial Hammer will make it just slightly better than I'm anticipating, just because he does have some positioning ability to get away from the aggressive front that the Batrider will be on. So I'm intrigued to see how this matchup fares.
Yeah, certainly is going to be a bit of an interesting one. I mean, we've seen going very aggressive here, actually, on Gubala, winning these early trades, but you know, Batrider, one of those heroes that he just does get that massive level 6 spike, doesn't he, with the lasso once it does come online. Actually getting quite a few stacks, but you're right. Able to use the Celestial Hammer there. They just dash right on out of the range when those sticky napalm attacks get a little bit too high. But either way, you know, Hugh up in this safe lane, actually having quite a rough time, already forced to pop the salve.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying it. Deuce, sorry, the Tidehunter. This hero is, man, he's crazy. You have, I think, the top 3 ultimates right now in Dota. Ravage is just stupid range. Like, if you see, quite often you have a hero that you can't, you have a frontliner who's so hard to kill, so you jump past him, recognizing that the supports are going to be positioned some way on the back line, and the Ravage is that big of an AoE that it's going to clip the tanky hero and the supports in the backline. It's just a ridiculous ulti. He's so hard to kill. He's got a really, really strong laning toolkit with Anchor Smash to secure CS and Gush to potentially get kills.
Yeah, and they're just doing a wonderful job of body blocking Psycho. They're getting some great damage, but no, you are 100% correct. We did see Tidehunter picked so much at TI, one of the most contested picks, and it was because, you know, he'd get level 6, he'd get Ravage, and then if you have a Tidehunter that has Ravage online, your team can literally just go group around mid tower and take it, because the enemy team can't walk up, because they're just going to get Ravaged and probably lose. So, super strong pick. Whether or not they like abuse that level 6 power spike to the fullest, like the TI teams did, we'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, either way, it's going to definitely have some presence throughout this game. But I want to talk about the other side of the map here, as Andros getting chased down by MPTW. Stunned up. Maybe is going to end up going down if he has the movement speed coming through from Thirst. No, not just yet. Only 1 point available, I'm afraid. So Andros is going to live to see another day. But Nightstalker Silencer, seeming like they're having a little bit of a rough time against Bloodseeker, Ogre Magi. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, as they should. The Nightstalker is got a weak stage. They might look to dive him here with a full creep wave. Just slowly poke and prod. It's a bit difficult going into the tower, of course, but when you've got like 2 waves, you can kind of use it to your advantage to deal some damage. But yeah, the Nightstalker is a hero that really suffers through the first 5 minutes. Surprisingly, he's still second in last hit, so Unleash is doing very well to be able to secure CS, and this is partially because of how the creepy equilibrium is. Just see some aggressive going back and forth, just a lot of heroes trying to burn out the resources. Kid's already got a Bassi, a Selv, and Tango, so Radiant, they're aware of the battle that's going to continue down bottom.
Yeah, certainly. We do see MBTW there just really doing quite a bit of AoE damage with those blood rights. You know, a little bit of a fight here over the stacks. You know, we talked a little bit about this. Oh, hang on, kid. Actually getting chased down. He maybe gets a little bit too aggressive trying to contest those stacks. He just gets turned on. The damage coming through from Night Stalker and Silencer, just too much for him to handle, and that's going to be a nice little kill going their way.
Any kill a Night Stalker can get pre 5 minutes is a bonus. Like, I really don't think this hero should be getting kills, and a Bloodseeker Ogre is a very strong lane. Like, Ogre is one of the best laning stage supports with the Ignite buffs. I believe they just reduced the mana cost, some of the previous patches, and you know, we see the other lanes with how aggressive you can be, like the damage over time, you know, the Bat Rider top as well. You've got a lot of ways to harass, so that's going to amplify the Bloodseeker. So a little bit surprising that Dire have done this well the first 5 minutes down in their bottom lane.
Yeah, certainly is going to be an interesting lane. And I mean, Andros walking away with that 2 permanent intelligence stolen, always something to enjoy seeing. But if we have a look at the last hit so far, it does look like mid lane pretty much even, as well as, you know, the hard laners. But, you know, you look at these 2 safe lanes, and it's just going to be Medusa having such a rough time doing any damage to Billy the Brawler, as he's pretty much just going to have his way in this lane. Do you think this is going to be a sort of lane where Medusa is going to be forced out into the jungle fairly early?
Maybe. We'll see. I think it's going to come down to rotations, but the Bat Rider is not a hero that rotates early. Gubala's very farmed, in fact. Almost has a boots to travel. They've made a lot of stacks bottom lane. Reem rotates. He's going to pick up a double kill, so a huge rotation with the Solar Guardian here for the Dawnbreaker, and he was enabled to make that movement because no one is mid. You know, maybe if his lane was subbed out to his tower, it would have forced him to stay in this lane and defend the objective, but the fact that, you know, with the creepy equilibrium where it is, it enables Reem to TP down bot.
Yeah, and the healing that comes through from Solar Guardian is super underrated. Like, when he gets that ultimate to max level, the amount of healing that can come out here. He's getting very aggressive onto Gubala, though, actually under the tower. Stun comes through, but ends up backing off with that Rune of Haste. Might actually re-engage here. Gubala does have to be careful, has enough damage for the Solar Hammer. In he goes, looking to get one last auto attack to finish him off. And yes, indeed, Gubala getting solo killed in the one-on-one. Reem Nizzle making a statement that he might have gotten his, you know, himself handed to last time by Gubala. Not letting it happen again. Meanwhile, in the top side, they are going to find Clovis, Noobson's poor courier, and Psycho maybe going to be next as he gets caught up in the brambles from Davai Lama. Trying to kite away from Billy the Brawler the best he can, but the Gush Slow is applied. Tries to get the Earth Spike to get a little bit of distance. Whether or not he's going to get out of here, though, will be remain to see. Yes, indeed, he's going to go up on the high ground. Likely make it out alive.
Bottom lane, Silence is going to drop as well.
Exactly right. It is first nighttime, which means he is going to be very, very strong with that fight that just happened up on the top side. Is going to give MBTW so many thirst stacks to work with, and likely be a very hard target for Unleashed to chase down. With how much move speed he has going on right now. 611 move speed on MBTW at 7 minutes into the game. How do you catch this Bloodseeker?
You don't. But Unleashed at least is able to stand his ground, though. Mark not feeling like he can get aggressive. Maybe with the Rupture now, he needs a +1. He's going to get it from the Ogre, and without a TP, Unleashed, he's going to have to stand his ground, and the inevitable will soon occur.
Yeah, certainly not much you can do about that there. Does try to whittle down MBTW, but the damage is going to be in his favor. Get the fat heal from the Blood Rage coming through. And meanwhile, you know, Reem Nizzle is waiting to stack up these ancient camps, farm up, do what he does best in the position 2 role, but really, I find it interesting, you know, Psycho did actually opt to get the wand at the start of this lane into Tidehunter and Willow. You think that's a relevant lane where, you know, getting that very early wand at level 1 is going to be paying huge dividends? I mean, I suppose it would, right, with Tidehunter, you know, spamming Anchor Smash on the knot.
Yep. Yeah, Tide's a hero that absolutely spams abilities, so I don't hate it. Maybe you could consider Stick and save a little bit of the gold to go into the power treads a little bit faster, because that's an item that will further enable the Medusa to be able to farm, but just, yeah, a lot more, I guess, commitment into the sustain she wanted in the lane. She didn't really want to go for maybe another set of tangos, so the extra 1 charges that could have been provided is helpful.
We're we talked about this, and it does look like Medusa forced into the jungle quite early, and Psycho is going to be forced to defend 1v2, but not for long as Rimnizzle coming down with the Solar Guardian. Going to look for Gubala as target numero uno. The Ravage comes through, though, going to stun up all 3 members of the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup. Psycho trying to make his way to the trees. Gubala already ahead of him, though, kiting around, trying to get some disengage. Might come back in with the Firefly onto Psycho, but Rimnizzle is still there, off in the wings. He's not going to get there in time, though, as his position 5 is going to go down. But reinforcements have arrived for the GIGACHADELAIDE crew. We'll see if they're able to catch up to Billy the Brawler and Gubala, and it doesn't look like they're going to decide to do that. They're just going to cut their losses, and unfortunately, Psycho's going to be the only one taking a trip back to the fountain.
See, that was a fight where some ultimates were used, though, the Ravage, the Solar Guardian, but Medusa, all in all, continues to at least hold her life. She's bobbing the net worth out of the cause, but the important thing is that Clovis isn't dying. You just want that natural GPM to continue to occur. Bottom lane might have some action break out.
The TPs are coming through. Unleashed has the Ravage popped on him. He's only a couple of auto attacks away from finishing off Kid. Tries to get the TP out, but Lasso, I mean, you know, it is a tried and true Dota combo, is it not? Rupture into Lasso. So little counterplay involved.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to deal with this Rupture. You've got the Terrorize to play with it. You've got the Lasso. I mean, Flame Break's not that big of a bounce back if we want to keep highlighting some of the abilities. Billy's in trouble, though. That's really aggressive positioning.
Yeah, all the way up at the tier 2s, and he's going to get hard punished for it. Rimnizzle with the double damage, going to be the one to do it. And that was actually a beautiful Earth Spike by Psycho. You know, one thing that may not be appreciated there is the fact that that was max range, which means he ground targeted that. He didn't target at Tidehunter, so nicely aimed there. A little bit of a mechanical shot from Psycho.
Yeah, and also you've seen, you know, Reem, he's been showing off his mechanical skills as well with the Dawnbreaker, 3-1-1, top of the net worth. Very surprised at how well his lane went versus the Batrider, who is a hero that traditionally, I'd say, beats a lot of melee matchups here. So, you know, Reem coming out ahead, top of the net worth, is building to the Echo Saber. We'll see how he is able to scale on the Dawnbreaker, because that can be one of the issues with this hero. Might be in trouble though with the smoke.
We'll see if he gets caught out here. Divine Llama and Kid. The smoke is broken onto the Willow, so Reem knows that he's there. Yeah, I'm just going to head up into the top side, look for Hugh, but the TP out is going to come through from Medusa, and now they might look to make a bit of a counter-tempo play on the bottom side. Solar Guardian coming through, they're looking to collapse onto MBTW, 3-on-1. Kid with the TP in, though, looking to turn things around. Finger of Death is going to delete MBTW's health bar, and now, unfortunately, Kid is TP'd into a 1v4 situation as Dark Ascension popped by Unleash, and he is not safe under that tier 1 tower. He's going to be taking a trip back to Fountain, and that's going to be GIGACHADELAIDE coming up huge, taking no losses in the top side and fighting 2 of their own in the bottom.
Yeah, I really want to see the Tidehunter play ramper. I think you as soon as you get that top tower, it opens up the map for your safe lane to go there. And Tide is a hero very similar to Venomancer. Oh, bottom middle lane actually. Clovis in trouble.
Yeah, he does get hit by the lasso. Firefly stacking itself up. Ravage comes through. No mana on the Medusa is going to equal a very, very dead Snake Gorgon. And they're also going to find themselves Andros for their trouble. Very squishy silencer at this stage of the game is going to be not much of an issue to take down, but pretty huge for UOW. This is going to be the mid lane tower for them.
Yeah, it's huge because Gubala's will start to open up the map now for the Batrider with the boots of travel. You're starting to work on the BKB as his second item. And this is the important thing is that Dire, they need to have a slow-paced game. Like, you have a Medusa, scales very well into the late game, but you need time and space to get that farm, and she might not get it now with the tier 1 down.
Yeah, certainly not. They are going to go for a bit of a fight here. Catching out MBTW, pushed up a little bit too far. The global silence coming through from Andros, enabling that one quite nicely. Meanwhile, they're going to be fighting over the outpost. It's going to be Unleashed getting caught out here in the middle of a bit too many heroes from UOW. Reinforcements have arrived. You're maybe going to look for Kid. Rimnizzle going forward, sets up the stun. The damage coming through from Silence is so disgusting.
Well, are they still going for this? They are.
They're going to keep on chasing it down. Rimnizzle has another hammer available. Going to look to try and melt down Devi Llama. My goodness, that solar hammer doing half of his health. So much damage. It's such a strange ability, isn't it? Because it has like 3 damage components. It's got, you know, the impact damage when you throw it. It's got more impact damage when you pull it back, and then it also has like a burn damage over time, so it's like 3 damage instances off one ability.
I don't know. It's an interesting hero. Yeah. Well, the new hero is a little bit interesting in their ways in Dota. You know, I'm excited to see what Marcy also feels like as well. Hopefully, she should be coming in relatively soon as well. Were you excited about the announcement for Marcy?
I mean, she's hot, so I'm pretty excited. That's usually my metric for how excited I get over new characters in MOBAs.
Well, we'll see if that can transition into gameplay bottom lane.
Unleashed getting caught up by the lasso combo, pops the Dark Ascension, looking to turn this one around onto Gubala, but no, he's going to be a little bit too quick on his feet. Billy the Brawler, not quite so lucky, as the fish has nowhere left to run. Unleashed fairly low, but Dark Ascension very cool, but look how tanky he is. Might not even give away the stack to Psycho on the Finger of Death. I think he might have just gotten that one by the skin of his teeth, but that was nearly a waste of the finger.
Oh. Do see though the Medusa at least still getting some time to get the farm. Clovis's Yasha complete is starting to get ahead of the net worth we saw previously was bottom, but now has been able to take over 3 heroes in the graph, and this is exactly what Dire want, just to slow this game down, as much farm as possible here, and honestly, props have to be given to Reem with how much space he's been able to provide here with the Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, so Clovis is actually going to be going for the Dragonlance before finishing up that Mantis style due to all the bursts present on this lineup. You know, he wants to have that little bit of extra range, that little bit of extra HP to defend himself against this lineup. Do you think that's, the correct call here? Delaying the Manta to get that little bit of extra survivability?
Hold that thought, mid lane.
Yes, indeed. Ravage popped here by Billy the Brawler. Reemner's going to be target number 1. Psycho off in the wings, though. Gubala looking to get aggressive. Does pop the Hex to buy himself a little bit of time. In comes Unleashed, though. So huge on this Night Stalker. The AoE Fear comes through, though, from Davai Lama. Terrify indeed. Psycho, 1 HP on the outskirts. Billy the Brawler is going to be trying to chase him down, but he's kiting so well. Meanwhile, though, back in the middle of the fight, Q able to stand his ground as Reemnizzle unstoppable with a double kill, melting through the backline of supports. Kid going to get taken down as well by the 4 and 3 duo. And that is going to be GIGACHADELAIDE coming up with almost every single member. And it might just be every single member, as Billy the Brawler caught out by Psycho yet again. And the Solar Guardian coming through from Reemnizzle to make it a 1-2 combo and wipe the entirety of the UOW lineup. 4k gold in their pockets over their enemy. And it's looking good for GIGACHADELAIDE.
Andros, happy solo kill from Gubala in the river here, so at least they'll get a consolation prize for the boys on Raid-In. We'll take them a little bit of time here.
It's going to be a very dead silencer, yes indeed. Psycho, is she going to get given the crown? He's going to get stunned up. That is going to be a very dead Lion as well in UOW. Showing signs of life, showing that, they are not going to just heal down and die. They're going to, one team fight is not going to be the end for them.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think that smoke maneuver before from Raiden, I would have liked to see them wait for Gubala's BKB, but maybe they feel like they have to continue to keep the pressure mounting because of the Medusa. They know they're on a clock here. Going late game is a very scary prospect.
Do you think kind of having a comp like this where, to a degree, all your eggs are in one basket with a Medusa is a little bit of a mistake maybe when you are playing against, a combo that has such a little counterplay like Rupture into Lasso? I mean, it's effective at all stages of the game because both ultimates pierce BKB, so you're never safe from it. It will always do ludicrous amounts of damage to you all the way into the late game. So, Medusa might have to be very, very cautious here.
You definitely have ways to itemize against it. If Medusa feels like that's an issue, she can go into Lincoln's maybe like 4th item. Unleashed, if he's having a good game, can potentially go Lotus Orb as well. Unfortunately, he's bottom in the net worth, so that will take quite some time if he feels that's the case. There's definitely ways you can play around it. Dusha is super tanky as well once she picks up those items, so maybe it's not even an issue.
Certainly we'll just have to wait and see, but GIGACHADELAIDE going in there for a bit of a smoke into the bot side jungle. Not able to find any foes just yet. Scan is popped on Roshan. It's actually going to ping red. They do know that there's someone over there. Whether or not GIGACHADELAIDE are going to walk by. Wait and see. I just look for this mid lane tier 1
Radiant's
tower.
middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is
Even
under attack.
Andros's 18 permit intel is also starting to work on the Aghanim Scepter as well. So the last word AoE, and then once you get to that level 25 with the mute, did it the other way around in the draft, but it's going to be so difficult for them. 25 is a long way away, especially for the
Dire's top
for a
tower
silencer
is under
support. But
attack.
man, I mean, you want to be going late game, so you'd be so happy if you get that plus the Medusa. It feels like it's very difficult for Radiant to compete.
Under attack.
Yeah, they might just look to handshake the
Is under attack.
tier 2 towers here and just kind of split the map. I mean, very interesting macro that we're seeing here from both teams, but I mean, I can't say that anyone's really losing out. Maybe UOW slightly, just because the creep wave is getting ate by the tower in the mid lane without anybody there to catch it, but
Dire's structures
certainly
are
very
fortified.
interesting from both sides.
Yeah, this is what Dire want. Like, they're fine with trading, because again, they want to be going late game. You want to be avoiding as many fights as possible.
Is under attack.
This does open up Roshan though. That tier 2 top
Radiant's bottom tower
can now allow Radiant to get the outposts. They're going to look to control the area, drop some vision down, and this will enable them to take Roshan, which is kind of the objective they're needing to maybe get some more towers. It's a bit of a concern because Radiant, though, they don't have tower hitters, and Mark is very far behind on the Bloodseeker. Still looking for the BKB, but yeah, they will attempt Roche.
Roshan is going to be started here. Interestingly enough, though, Radiant didn't actually take the outpost away from the Dire, so they do have that TP location available if they so choose. Just whether or not they realize that this Roshan is being done and whether or not they act on it. Yeah, grouping up here. Smoke is popped. Now GIGACHADELAIDE are moving towards this pit. This could be a big fight, folks. Ogre Magi is going to be spotted. Dark Ascension popped immediately, unleashed. Looking to be the first one into the pit. The AoE silence comes through. So is the global silence. They find MBTW. Finger of Death dropped onto Billy the Brawler. He's going down. Clovis Noobson chasing down this Ogre Magi with the ultimate. That's going to be a third pickup for GIGACHADELAIDE. Big kills in their pockets. And that Roshan, tended up by their enemies, is going to be the target of the remaining few.
Oh boy, this is no good for UOW right now. GIGACHADELAIDE with a huge advantage now, claiming the ages. Honestly, what's the graph saying? I mean, it's already a 90% probability for GIGACHADELAIDE, and I'd almost put it 99. The struggle, maybe Radiant can play off the back of, like you said, the Rupture into some combination. Still, they've got incredible team fight with the Ravage and the rest of their heroes, but I'm just so worried they've missed their timing. I mean, BKBs have come out a little bit too late for what they were hoping, and I mean, now you're going to have to go up to the Aegis advantage and 7,000 gold as well for Dire. This is not good at all.
Certainly have to wait and see, but either way, looking at the net worth after that fight, Medusa sitting exactly where she wants to, Psycho. This could be big, actually. Solar Guardian coming down, and unfortunately, Divine Llama is not actually allowed to play Dota 2, and he's just going to get killed 100-0 through CC from across the map on the hands of Reem, coming in with that global Solar Guardian, but they might get turned around here. Rupture is popped onto Reem. Nizzle tries to get the TP out, but the lasso is there from Gubala, locks him up on the high ground. It looks like GIGACHADELAIDE are not going to be there to save it. Pops the Celestial Hammer to try and get himself up off the high ground, but Billy the Brawler, one-man Ravage, making sure that Reem is for sure dying. He's not getting out of there today at all, and they are going to find themselves a return kill to honor their position 4.
It's a heavy commitment though. Ravage used lasso on cooldown, so some bigger ultis. We'll see what Dire want to do with it when Reem's back alive. Have a smoke. Psycho doesn't have one. Andros doesn't have one as well, but he's closing in to the Aghanim Scepter here from the Silencers, so the most farm support in our game 1. Radiant, they're still looking to stick around mid, but I've got very good vision in the vicinity. Andros still might be in trouble.
Certainly the Dark Ascension popped here, looking to go aggressive. Finger of Death available, whether or not he chooses to pop it here, not even gonna need it. But look at the damage coming out from Hugh. This Medusa is farmed Does have the crown on top of him, though. That stun might be able to buy them some time to get the damage done. Rupture popped onto Psycho, and BTW looking to wrap around and finish the job. But Billy the Brawler absorbing so much damage right now on this Tidehunter. Nigh unkillable. Unfortunately, they are just bleeding resources, though, as Kid goes down to Unleashed on the backside. Forced to TP out on the Night Stalker, but here comes Reem looking to finish off Davai Lama with a 1-2-3 swing indeed. And that is going to be Psycho coming through to finish the job, and it's going to be Billy the Brawler. He was in the middle of that fight for so long, and he's going to be the one to live and get out alive.
Yeah, I mean, this Tide, he opted for a first item Satanic, so your boy's tanky as hell. He went for the Kraken Shell damage threshold, and he's got all the abilities maxed out here. So Billy's not going to be easy to kill, but as long as you can burn his mana like that from Psycho, that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but he was basically had no HP left, and he walked over to the creep camp, popped the Demonic active, and clicked Anchor Smash and full healed. So he's definitely very hard to kill, to say the least, on this Tidehunter.
That he is. I'm just trying to see what he wants to go for with the 15 talent. The Anki Smash reduction, it's pretty nice versus the Medusa. Don't break his damage is a lot as well, but if you want to go into something like an Aghanims as the game goes on, I think Tidehunter's Ags is incredibly strong if you talent for it. So that could be an item to consider as well. Maybe he's worried that he might not have as much mana to use in the fights because of the Lion. Well, we did see, I believe Psycho just bought back. Let me double check. Yeah, he did. So the Lion bought back in the previous fight, so he's still going to be a little bit of gold behind, but he's making a jump mid onto the...
Oh my goodness, the 1-2, Psycho and Reem. So much teamwork between these two this game.
Yeah, they've done an incredible job just being able to find these pickoffs across the map. They're still trying to find Reem at the moment, but I cannot stress enough how worrying this is, seeing just Medusa free farm. They really don't care that they haven't gotten too many objectives out of the Aegis. They feel like this is a farming Aegis, just control the map, make it very difficult for Radiant to infiltrate, and this is almost Skadi completed here, which is going to be a huge item versus the Tidehunter, versus the Bloodseeker heroes that really rely on kind of the sustain through the middle of the fights.
Yeah, do you think this is one for the supports or the position 3s to maybe pick up some kind of a Lotus Orb to deal with all of the single target threat that's on this UOW lineup?
Honestly, you're saying Dire to pick up a Lotus?
Sorry, Radiant. Radiant to pick up a... Oh, no, sorry, yeah, no, Dire. It's you know,
yeah, I definitely think Dire need a Lotus, yeah.
Yeah.
I just... The issue is that, like, the Night Stalker... He needs aggressive items to help him get kills, and Lotus is like... You need Blink BKB, you go Echo before him to dissemble into a BKB, and then afterwards it's like... It feels like then you'll need a Nullifier too to enable those kills. It's very awkward on how he can itemize. He's not traditionally like a position 3 that can go full utility, so... Unless he's got a really, really good game. So maybe the supports have to go down that route.
The way they might find Billy the Brawler here. Does have to watch out, Psycho. Blinking forward with the Hex. Trying to drain that mana like we talked about. The Earth Spike coming through. Terrify, though. And the Ravage. Look at the range on that. Picking up all of the folks on the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup up in the high ground. But in comes the big Unleashed. Popping the Dark Ascension. Here comes the Solar Guardian as well from Reem Nizzle right into the middle of things. And they are just chasing them down with the Skadi slows from Hugh. Gubala not allowed to move, and Unleashed just being the front line for that Medusa. Now MBTW going to be maybe next on their agenda, but Unleashed getting a little bit too big for his britches, and he's going to get melted down. He has to watch out, tries to Manta dodge the silence, but isn't going to do it successfully. And now MBTW looking to melt through that mana pool, and it is indeed going to disappear. 0 mana available, and that's going to be Clovis Noobson getting taken down. Davai Lama, though, is going to get traded back in return, and it's just a slaughterfest left, right, and center between these two teams.
Man, that was such a chaotic fight. You see, trying to go on the Tidehunter, you just... It's so difficult to do so. He lost the entirety of the fight till the very end. Unfortunate as well for Gubala as well. He cliffed the Medusa, on the low ground there. it's a very awkward cliff position by the stairs, but then he freed him with the flame break, and honestly, if he didn't do that, there could have been a completely different fight. But Radiant, all in all, were surprising at how they're able to at least come out somewhat even though they did have the higher amount of casualties.
Yeah, they did have Aghanims on Andros for the first time there as well, maybe making a little bit of a difference. Having that AoE silence like we talked about, the damage coming through from Andros is going to be absolutely ridiculous. This is certainly a position 4 silencer build though. No Force Staffs, no Glimmer Capes here. It is just Veil into Aghanims, getting those big greedy items on the position 4 support silencer, and looking to get the damage out in these team fights.
I don't hate the Veil. You got pretty much everyone's using spells, and it's going to amplify all your spell casting. So it'll also mean Andros will start to pick up an immense amount of farm as well. You can just drop Veil and then Arcane Curse on the creep wave. That's going to do a lot of damage there. Will increase his scaling potential. He's really, once he hit level 25, is as fast as possible, because that's kind of why you build into the Aghanims. But Radiant, they're going to look for another smoke here.
Smoke indeed is popped as they venture up into the top side. Maybe look for someone. They might find this Medusa illusion. It's not going to pop the smoke though, so they know it's not real.
You can't go on Billy. Somehow you have to avoid him. I really want to see the Lion go for the Aghanim shard next. I think it's so important just to soak away the Tidehunter's mana, make him completely useless, because he's kind of itemized for these really, really long drawn-out fights with the Satanic, and he's only got 627 mana. So if you can get rid of that, that is exactly what you want.
We see you doing it.
Getting fairly close to that Assault Cuirass on Reem Nizzle as well. Unleashed looking to go for the Orchid, actually. I think that silence is going to be a big spike for this team.
Yeah, they've got a lot of silences with the Crippling Flare, with the Global Silence, so I guess it's just going to further amplify the Arcane Curse, of course, with the 2 times damage that occurs when any heroes are silenced, so maybe he's taking that into consideration. Maybe it's also going to help him with his kill potential onto some of the supports as well. But Dark Ruler's already got a Yule Scepter. Ogre, what's he starting to queue into? Kid, pretty farmed too on the Ogre, surprisingly. Veil, Arcane Boots, he's got the Staff of Wizardry and even the Lotus Orb queued up. So is this sorry, Yule's already complete? No, it's not.
Seeing interesting itemization here. Kubala, Link Dagger available. Very, very interesting indeed. Double disconnect here, though, from GIGACHADELAIDE.
Goddamn GIGACHADELAIDE, always some ping issues. Get the reset coming through. Let's see, what are we looking for next? Again, I mean, we've been bringing up throughout the entire cast. I'm worried of Radiant being able to scale into the late game. I will say that they don't have the greatest answer to a Batrider Lasso. Like, whenever I look at this hero, I always want to see if you've identified ways to deal with him in the lane with the soft dispel, and then as the game goes on with a hard dispel for the Lasso. Because this is a very, very easy way to get a pick off. Now, Global Silence is not the worst. If you want to trade ulti for ulti, then you're happy with that. You know, it can definitely be itemized to deal with the Global Silence, however. So it could be, though, for Radiant that in some of these fights, you just get an instant pick off to start, and then you use that numbers advantage to transition from there. So we'll see how Dire are going to look to deal with that. That's kind of the one weakness or big issue I see coming up shortly if Radiant play around that. We saw yet to see kind of the Rupture play with the Terrorize or the Lasso as well. So yeah, a lot of kill potential, single target, but for Dire, and they've got multiple ways they can play these fights. The Lion can start, the Night Stalker, or the Dawnbreaker as well. So whereas Radiant kind of only a couple heroes right now, the Tidehunter without a blink is playing off the back of Dire, heavily committing into the Tide and then Kim pumping Ravage.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And again, they do have that halberd completed on Billy the Brawler now. And I did just, while hovered over him, see him queue up that Blink Dagger coming up shortly on him. Which is interesting. You know, normally, you know, Tidehunter, name of the game is that first item, Blink Dagger, to get those Blink Ravages off and initiate for your team, but he hasn't done that this game. He's gone for Satanic into the Heaven's Halberd, and he's looking for a third item, Blink Dagger. So, you know, what do you think it is about this game, or is it maybe just a player-specific thing that, you know, he felt like he didn't need that Blink Dagger right away this game and could afford to go for those, you know, more greedier items, I suppose, to make him be a little bit harder to kill?
Well, the Night Stalker Dawnbreaker are very heavy committal, so you can play off the back of Dire jumping you instead of you being the one to jump first. But he's also got some heroes on his team that can help start fights. The Bat Rider, Booster Travel Blink, the Bloodseeker Rupture. It's not the greatest, but yeah, I would have preferred a Blink early because I think you can't put all of your eggs on the Bat Rider getting the jump. He's going to go back into that route next. Maybe it was just feeling like he really needed to be super survivable through the early game, and now that he has his items, he can go into the Blink.
Here we have going around at pretty much all these players. And yeah, we have, again, Manta Style and Skadi completed on Medusa, and this is going to be, you know, big go time for these players. This is the power spike that we've been waiting for the Medusa.
Oh, is he going?
Satanic, yeah, is queued up next. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, but he's got the Swift Blink. That's what I'm thinking about. Swift Blink. Okay, so he feels like Swift Blink makes me feel like he believes he has issues getting to the backline, which that's not how I see this game. I think you are more than okay with getting to the backline with the Night Stalker, and then the Dawnbreaker can also TP in on you. You've got Blink as well from the Lion. Definitely not someone who's probably going to target the backline, but it has to be said. So that's how I read the Swift Blink. Because I think, you know, we'll see how it's going to fare here for Clovis. It's a hell of an item. I think it gives you so much, but it's more of a later stage item when you're kind of slotted. So yeah, well, I'm really intrigued to see what it provides him.
Yeah, indeed, just seeing them siege down this top tier 2, and it looks like, you know, UOW, they're just lost right now on the other side of the map in that triangle. Gonna take a little while to rotate around and, you know, trade this tower away. The TPs might actually come through from GIGACHADELAIDE to defend this one. Or they might just ignore that and just go for the Roshan. I mean, that seems like probably the better option here.
Yeah, why not? It's a huge objective. I mean, this is pretty much the Roche now. If it continues to go later on, then Radiant, they're in trouble. They had a ward nearby, so they're well aware this is happening. Are they not going to come? I mean, look at Dive's vision around the area, though. They're going to instantly see Billy TPing, but yeah, they're too late.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, right, is that we saw this exact identical situation last time.
Wait, they're taking the fight.
It's interesting if they actually do decide to go in here. Albert popped onto Hugh, but, you know, again, this Tidehunter is very difficult to kill. The mana drain, though, coming through, but meanwhile, look at the damage coming out from Hugh. It is absolutely relentless. Davai Lama coming through, though, landing a two-man Terrify onto the Medusa and the Silencer. It's going to be Andros going down. He does not have buyback available to get back into this fight. They're melting down the Medusa's mana bar. She's getting so close to death. Big Earth Spike comes through from Psycho, though. Three-man knock-up into the Finger of Death is going to take out Davai Lama. They're still doing their best to take out Medusa. Pops the Halberd to try and get rid of the Disarm coming through. That's the first life taken down off of Hugh. MPTW able to chase him down with the Thirst. Gubala now looking for Psycho. Perfectly blinks out of the Flame Break over the Roshan pit. Clovis Noobson now going to be trying to chase down MPTW with that Skadi slow to the best of his ability, but he is just so tanky right now. Billy the Brawler, the only one left, tries to get the TP out back to the base, and he is indeed going to get it, and that is just such a massive fight, and it's going to come out in the favor of UOW with a 2k gold swing in their favor.
Wow, go Psycho mid lane as well. Lion's in trouble. They got detection at the moment. They are lacking it, but looks like he's not going to be able to get back underneath the tower. So poor old Psycho will slowly be burned down from the Bat Rider, and this is just more gold funneling into the backpack of Radiant. A beautiful fight from them. You see what they're doing? They're just avoiding the Deucer. They're targeting Reem with Lasso Rupture, something you brought up in the draft, and it's paying huge dividends here. So now Dire, they've really got to identify this issue. You have to itemize to deal with this huge single target. If you don't do so, that's pretty much a free pick off, and then after that, you can just look to avoid the Medusa, and the Halberd gives you so much of that capability.
Yeah, AC is finished by Reem now, though. He does have that Assault Cuirass online. We're seeing them look to try and collapse here onto Billy the Brawler, but we talked about how tanky that Tidehunter is. Solar Guardian coming down here, though. They might be able to melt down MBTW. Yes, indeed. His killing spree coming to a close. Reem Nizzle, though, getting caught up by the Rupture like you just mentioned, Ares, and he's going to be taking a trip back to Fountain. Unleashed does find Kid kind of lacking out on the outskirts, and Billy the Brawler fighting himself out of mana. Finger of Death going to finish him off. Finally, they finally take down the Tidehunter. Gods can bleed indeed. The Crown used to try and get this poor Willow a little bit of space, but in the end, it's all going to be for naught, as they are going to find themselves a kill, and it just seems like this game is a constant pendulum back and forth. No team really allowing more than an inch to be taken from one another, and this time it's going to go the favor of GIGACHADELAIDE.
It's such a cool itemization, the way that Clovis was able to recognize that I've itemized something. If I keep going down this route, then we're going to be trapped here with how lacking in DPS we are. Because Radiant, with that fight they took by the Roche Pit where they can jump in, Gubala? It's not going to find Andros. He's in trouble now. This Skadi goes through the BKB.
Hello, Gubala? Hello? Hello?
That's no good. Andros tips him as well, and now they might just come knocking on your high ground. Gubala doesn't have a buyback.
Yeah, Gubala, unfortunate bit of lag that he came across there 36 minutes into this game, and that is going to be, you know, the first real, like, free opening that GIGACHADELAIDE has had this entire game, and it is going to be the one that seems to secure this tier 3 tower in the middle lane for GIGACHADELAIDE.
Might look to jump.
Indeed, they are going to jump in. Unleashed has the Rupture popped on him. Whether or not he's going to be able to get out of here is another story. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Ravage comes through, though, from Billy the Brawler. Locks up to Terrify as well onto Hugh. They are just in full retreat, though. Andros is there trying to drop the silences the best he can. TP coming through from Hugh. He's able to get out, and Psycho as well, blinking out to safety. And Andros as well, going to be able to TP back to the Fountain. They're only going to lose themselves their position 3. And they are, however, going to be able to take down that middle tier 3, like we mentioned.
So you see now, with the data that's completed though for Medusa, the lack of damage that we're showing is now not going to be as much of an issue because of how much they've been avoiding her. And the best way to kind of minimize that issue when people are avoiding you, just go more DPS. They'll be forced to actually deal with her. She's got to go Satanic next. We'll see. I'm concerned still of being able to kill off the Tidehunter. Maybe Silver's Edge could be something to consider, but again, you don't really have the heroes to be able to do so. They still have issues with the Lasso and also the Rupture. And, I mean, Mark has got this Aghanim Shard now, so the Blood Rage attacks deal 2% of the target's max health as pure damage. This is a great way to go versus tanky heroes in the late game like the Medusa. And honestly, I feel like the Bloodseeker is kind of a sneaky hero that can scale relatively well into the late game than people give him credit for just off the back of the Aghanim shot.
Yes, certainly. And honestly, Medusa's actually gone for the shard as well, and I think it's actually something I didn't think of, but it is very, very good in this comp. However, though, in the triangle, bit of a kerfuffle breaking out here. Hard to tell who's being the focus at this moment, but what I do know is that Andros, very, very low, is barely going to get out of the fight. Does have the Global Silence available if this fight looks like it's going to continue on. Billy the Brawler going to be getting his mana drained away, though. And he's looking to chase him down with the Skadi. No, they're going to change target. Kid is going to be the next one, indeed. MBTW doing so much damage like you just mentioned is going to find Reem Nizzle lacking in the triangle. He's just going to be running away with those Thirst Stacks, though. Going for the hills. Buyback popped on Reem. Now looking to TP himself back here. Maybe look for Gubala. Gubala does find Andros. Flamebreaker is going to pop. Is the DPS enough? He tries to TP back, but no! That is Andros. Unfortunately, dead. Does have buyback available. The fight continues. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Unleashed getting peeled and kited off. Here's the Ravage, though, getting turned around. BKB was on Psycho, so he's not going to be affected. No mana available on Billy the Brawler, though. He is all out, I'm afraid. And Hugh, still in the back line. He's not able to get in right now. The auto attack's not able to be found, but he doesn't even need it, as Unleashed and Reem are going to be the ones doing the job. But Unleashed does have to be careful. He's walked a little bit too close to MPTW. The damage is a little bit insane. Gets hit by the flame break on the high ground by Gubala. Finger of Death is going to get popped onto the middle of the brawler once again to finish him off. Unleashed. The DPS was enough to finish him off up on that high ground. Gubala trading away that cheeky little kill. And Gubala does have to watch out. He does pop the blink to get himself away from Reem Nizzle and live to see another day. But what a fight. We look at the recap here. That was basically even in terms of gold swing, a little bit in the favor of UOW, and almost 15k damage done by both teams. What a fight.
Yeah, I wonder how different that could have been if Mark came over a little bit earlier there to combine with the Ravage. You see last second as well. I don't know how Psycho's got 9 Finger of Death charges, but that's plus 540 damage. That could be the damage Reem he pulled back previously. This big issues.
Yeah, we talked about that Rupture and Lasso combo. There's just no counterplay to it, I'm afraid. Psycho actually going to be walking up a little bit too far as well, and he's going to go down. 110 seconds on them both, I'm afraid. And now Hugh has to be very, very careful, as he is the only real damage source left alive. 23 seconds left on this Night Stalker. This is a big, big window for UOW.
Yeah, they tried to switch up their game plan for the last team fight to use the Global Silence to protect against the Lasher, but that wasn't enough by the triangle fight. And you see, finally, they're like, okay, we've had enough from this combination. We're going to try and go for the Lincolns here on Reem, but is it too late?
Only time will tell, but Unleashed looking to try and get himself a little bit of aggression here. Blinks forward with the silence. MBTW very, very low. It's going to be the urn used to try and get himself a little bit more HP. But Billy the Brawler, we talked about how tanky this Tide is. So fine to just be belligerent. Walk up to this tower. Anchor Smash used to just melt it down. He is just wailing away at this tower with that Anchor Smash. And, you know, he does have that Satanic active available. As soon as that minion wave is present, he's just going to be able to pop the Satanic, smack the creeps, and heal up. Meanwhile, though, they found the lasso onto Andros. He's over the wall. Ravage used to try and separate them by Billy the Brawler. Nice and easy kill from Andros. Buybacks immediately used. Meanwhile, Unleashed, the Ravage, unfortunately, was popped to keep him out of the fight. And while that was happening, MBTW was just wailing on him with that Rupture. Great Flame Break comes through from Gubala to separate the rest of the team from chasing MBTW as he tries to flee out of the base, and he is going to get away successfully. This tier 3 top tower is down. They're going to look for the racks now. Q still alive, though, to try and defend the best they can. Buyback available on this Night Stalker. They do have Lion rejoining the fray. And it does look like UOW are going to cut their losses back off here and maybe look to set up for this Roshan.
Alrighty, and a huge fight then. They brought this game back to a 2,000 deficit. You see what's occurring with the lasso. Gubala, you know, he didn't win mid lane, but he's doing an exceptional job to find these pickoffs. And now back to Roche they go. They got the Aghanim Scepter available. We'll see who they want to give that over to. Are they going to give this up for free, though? They have a smoke. Psycho has one, but they're really slow to get out. Here we go. Roche giving up for free. So, Aegis Cheese, Aghanim Scepter. Mark's going to take the Scepter. Okay, double Rupture. I was thinking potentially you give it over to Billy, because he didn't talent into the gush damage, so maybe not feeling as valuable with this Scepter. But the double Rupture is going to be so important here. You've got one to control the Night Stalker and also the Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, it is interesting that he did go for not the Gush build, but I mean, the Kraken Shell damage block has actually just been paying dividends there. It's soaking up all of the right clicks from Medusa under that tower. I think the damage talent is what's important when factoring in the Aghanim's build. I always thought it was the Gush armor talent that was, the main factor. Having that extra -4 on Gush and an AoE wave just does so much when you have a physical team comp behind you.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's fulfilling the role of being this frontline beefy hero that's unkillable, and I truly believe he's unkillable. Clovis is still going to a Swift Blink. Who we found? Oh, they got Andros.
The Unleashed. Oh my goodness, that's unlucky! The bash pops through BKB. And unfortunately, Unleashed can get killed and double tipped.
Nice. Thanks.
Hate to see it. Smoke popped here by UOW. This is big. They do have a buyback available on this Night Stalker. We look at Billy the Brawler, he is just so tanky. He's almost like a Medusa in the way where, you know, he's only really under threat of dying when that mana pool depletes to 0. There's sort of 2 Medusas in this game, in a way, when you think about it. Meanwhile, MBTW dropped very low here. Finger of Death coming through. Blink Ravage, though, from Billy the Brawler. That is Medusa getting locked up. The Terrify as well. Here comes Unleashed, though. Pops the Dark Ascension, looking to make absolute havoc in the backside. Reem coming through with that BKB, but MBTW, he's so fast with those Thirst Stacks, running rings around this GIGACHADELAIDE lineup. Billy the Brawler, full heals with Satanic with an Anchor Smash. Unkillable, like you said, Ares. What am I watching? Refresher Orb, used by Kubala here. The second lasso, it's onto Reem. No buyback available. He's out for 100 seconds. MBTW finds himself another kill, melting down Unleashed. And now it is Hugh, the sole member of GIGACHADELAIDE, left standing. The mana bar, it is depleting. The cheese is popped. Second mana bar, almost going to be killed. Yes, indeed, he's going down. And that is going to be GIGACHADELAIDE, all but dead. Buyback used by Hugh. Whether or not he's going to be able to get through 5 members of UOW and a cheese sitting on Gubala is going to be remain to see. But I highly doubt it, Ares. I feel like this is going to be a game 1 going the way of UOW. You talked about the impossibility that they face of dealing with this late game Medusa, but they've made it happen. And that is going to be UOW claiming game 1 in this series.
My lord, UOW, relax. The combination there, the lasso to the rupture, getting the pickoffs, Tidehunter, top 3 most broken heroes right now. Billy goes 1-7-17. That does not matter at all. Fulfills his role of soaking up all the damage, creating so much chaos, and you just got to itemize DPS. It's unfortunate Hugh, he recognized a little bit too late, starting to go for the Daedals, but this is a game you got to pump out that damage. They needed some other way. You know, they didn't. The respect wasn't there, honestly, for the lasso. They just fell too far behind with the pickoffs, and then Radiant could overwhelm them once they dealt with everyone else but the Medusa, man. What a game for UAW, the reigning champions. They got knocked down to the lower bracket from GIGACHADELAIDE, and they're looking for their revenge, and, well, at least in this game, they found it.
Certainly, and what a game that we just had to kick off this series. And of course, folks, this is the grand finals, which means we're taking it all the way to hopefully the final game. If these two teams are this close throughout the entire series, we could very well see this going all the way. I believe it's a best of 5, right, Ares?
Best of 3. Best of 3.
Best of 3. Well, whether or not we're going to be able to take it all the way to game 3 remains to be seen on GIGACHADELAIDE in this second game. And you'll just have to stick around to AEL Uni right after this break to find out exactly whether or not we're going to be seeing UOW get the twofer and get the double repeat back-to-back, whether or not GIGACHADELAIDE are going to try and prove themselves as the underdog in this season and take it out. And welcome back, folks, to the AEL Uni Grand Finals between GIGACHADELAIDE and UOW eSports. We just saw a explosive first game where UOW were able to take themselves to the finish line in this first match and claim themselves a nice 1-0 in the series. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk by Aries. And what are our thoughts going into game two?
I'm just excited to see what switch ups we have in regards to draws, in regards to picks, to bans. The fact that UOW, the reigning champions, hitting back. I mean, if it has to be said that, you know, we saw GIGACHADELAIDE knock down UOW in the upper bracket in the earlier round, so maybe coming into it there's a feeling that GIGACHADELAIDE could be the favorites since the past results, but UOW showing that's not the case here in game one, and you know, we'll see what's going to continue. I feel like Tide could be a staple here if GIGACHADELAIDE maybe want to pick it up for themselves. And we saw the heavy commitment from the Dawnbreaker from the boys on Radiant in game one. First phase bans, though, still all the same.
Yeah, exactly. And something for the folks at home to remember is that in that game that you were just talking about, where GIGACHADELAIDE were able to actually beat UOW, knocking them down into the losers bracket, UOW won game one, much like we're seeing right here. So history could repeat itself. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, UOW making themselves off to a great start in this draft, picking up their immortal Tidehunter for game two once again.
Yeah, so it's this hero still struggles against some lane matchups. Monkey, Ursa. We'll see how GIGACHADELAIDE now want to identify that. They're going to go into the Viper route, so they've naturally got a break, and they feel still comfortable with the Lion, of course. A hero that they played as a position 5 previously. We'll see if that's going to be the case, or if this time they'll give it to Andros, but it gives them a nice way to be able to initiate and start fights.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be Psycho. I think Lion is Psycho's favorite hero, at least to play in these games. He definitely really likes that Lion pick, but you're completely right. Basically took the words right out of my mouth. As soon as I saw that Tidehunter pick, I was like, okay, this game, they need to have some kind of a break, whether that's a natural Silver Edge carrier like the Tiny One, even though that was banned out, or some kind of a Viper that has a break built into their kit, or like, you know, the Phantom Assassin with the Shard. Something of that nature. They need some kind of break to deal with this Tidehunter, otherwise it is just going to be ridiculous like it was in game one yet again. And they do that. They pick the Viper right away for presumably Reamnizzle, although we have actually seen Andros play this as a 4 a good couple of times. So whether or not they decide to go that route or the other route will remain to see. Actually, I can't remember if it was Andros or Unleashed that was playing it, whether it was a 3 or a 4. Might have been Unleashed, actually. Either way, I know that it was on that off lane. So a few things that they can do with this Viper. It's not set in stone as a 2, but we do know that it is a bit of a comfort pick for Reamnizzle. UOW, though, going to be picking up a hero that we did not see in game 1, and that is Weaver. What are our thoughts there, Aries?
They picked it into not the greatest matchup in the line. Weaver's a hero that very squishy, pretty high mobility, but doesn't have the greatest health pool, so very reliant on not getting bursted down from 4 to 0. And the Lion is someone who can definitely do that with the instant hex into the Finger of Death. So I'm intrigued that UOW pick it up. They've got some flexibility from their first 2 heroes. We'll see if Weaver's going to be played from Mark, or if they want to give it over to Kid potentially on a 5, or even, you know, Divine Llama can also play it as well. But a lot of minus armor once again. We saw previously it was a Tidehunter and the Ogre. Was it the Ogre? I'm trying to remember now.
There was an Ogre 5, yes.
Yeah. So the Tide and the Ogre was just a lot of ways to be able to amplify Mark, and now you got Tide Weaver. If, again, Weaver's a support, then that's an immense amount of minus armor. Now they are on Dire's side, so it's not. With how Dire play the map, they're traditionally on the bottom side. They're not going to have as much access to Roshan, but still a lineup that can take it down very, very fast.
Yeah, certainly. One thing to note, Weaver, obviously, over the course of the international, most played role was actually, surprisingly, not a 1, which would surprise me, because I'm normally used to thinking about Weaver as a 1. It was actually position 4 that we mostly saw this Weaver pick put into, putting a lot of emphasis on the Aghanim Scepter to be able to time-lapse your allies, which is very annoying to play against. So we'll have to see whether or not that is going to play into... I mean, put it this way, if you have a Weaver with Aghanims able to time-lapse the already invulnerable Tidehunter, there's no way you ever kill that fish. So whether or not that's going to be the route that they decide to go down, or they put the Weaver into the position 1, we'll have to wait and see. But definitely some options that UOW can play for here. It does look like that Bat Rider is going to get banned out here by GIGACHADELAIDE. Not going to be seeing that one make a return in this game too. Neither is the Dawnbreaker for UOW Esports, and it's going to be the two Spirits getting banned out alongside the Shadow Demon that we did see Rimnizzle play in their last match in the semi-finals, I do believe, where they were down a game, and then GIGACHADELAIDE were able to turn it around and take 2 games back-to-back thanks to this incredible Rimnizzle position 2 Shadow Demon pick that he just popped off on in both games. Absolutely swept the enemies under the rug, and it looks like UOW, they might just not have an answer for it, so they've just decided to ban it out in game 1, ban it out in game 2, not have to worry about it. And either way, we'll have to see what they decide to end up going for here in the mid lane, as both mid laners from game 1 have been taken out of this draft.
Yeah, of course, these players have an immense amount of flexibility. We've just seen their hero pool skyrocket over the tournament. A long group stage, 7 weeks, and then the playoffs were down to the last day, of course. And we've just seen all the heroes that have been able to play at such a high level. And we saw last game as well. It started well with the Dawnbreaker. And then Gubala as well. He struggled on the Bat Rider, but then made sure the impact was still shown. So we'll see how that's going to continue. Because it's always felt like when we've spoken about these teams, it's a lot of emphasis on Reem, a lot of emphasis on Gubala as well. And then, of course, everyone else, flourishes around these 2 players. But, it feels like right now Dota's in a stage where the position 2s are incredibly favorable. GIGACHADELAIDE, they're actually going to go for the Hoodwink here. So we saw them play this in, I think, maybe the first or second week of the group stages when we cast them, and Andros was playing the Hoodwink, and I think he said to me very briefly that he felt like the Hoodwinks wasn't strong anymore because of the Bushwhack change with the damage over time now instead of instant. I think there are a little bit of other changes as well, but he felt like that was the bigger one. But it just gives them another break versus the Tidehunter. They've got a great setup as well in the line. Hoodwink, he doesn't want to be that initial start. You want someone else and then you follow up afterwards. So I don't hate the pickup here. They need someone to be pretty beefy though. They've got 3 range heroes at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, if anyone's going to be beefy, it's going to be Unleashed. He loves to play those, the Night Stalkers, the Spirit Breakers, that sort of position 3 lineup. So definitely going to be nothing out of the ordinary if he decides to pick up something of that nature. But it is going to be the Ogre Magi making a repeat showing in the position 5, presumably, role for UOW Esports, going on to Kid once again. I mean, he did seem to have an alright performance on it in the last game.
Yeah, it did his role. It did his role, just bloodlusting anyone and being a pretty strong laner. And now you have a good pairing, a tanky hero for the Weaver. If the Weaver is a 1, can be someone who can also provide a lot of information on the front line. If he plays that role, Tide can kind of do that this game. And they're going to go into the Rubik. So this will identify that the Weaver is going to be our position 1. A lot of abilities to steal here for the Rubik. I'm a huge fan of the Nether Toxin getting stolen. I think that's one of the best abilities because you can just farm so incredibly well. I think Rubik thrives when he has abilities that he can steal to amplify his farm. He's a hero that does a lot with net worth. And if he can't get that, then you can see him kind of tail off into the later stages and not be too confident in that. But there's a lot of good abilities here.
Yeah, definitely always exciting to see a Rubik game played. That does kind of lock in their position 4 and position 5, though, as Rubik Ogre Magi, which does put a little bit less on the Weaver in terms of where he's going to go. I'm pretty sure Weaver 1 is all that's viable here. I don't think I've seen a Weaver 2, at all. I don't know if that's something that's played in the slightest. But if it is, I mean, Gubala has pulled out stranger picks, I suppose, but likely going to be a Weaver 1, and they're going to be picking probably their 2 in this final pick. But that's going to be Ursa coming through here for Hugh. And Ursa, obviously a hero that we saw definitely a lot of at the International.
Yeah, this is the issue with going Tidehunter opener now, because you're against a Viper, which you can't lane into. You're against a Hoodwink as well with another break, so as the game goes on, you're not too confident. And now you're against an Ursa, a pretty solid laning stage counter who more than likely is going to be paired up with the Lion. So you've got a stun to amplify Ursa just being able to rip you apart with the Fury swipes, and I don't feel like a Rubik Tide is a lane that can come out ahead. Maybe Ursa's weak level 1 and level 2, so maybe UOW with their advantage there can potentially get a kill. Maybe bully the Ursa and kill the Lion maybe once or twice, but this is difficult at the moment. One thing to mention though is that GIGACHADELAIDE, they do not scale too well into the late game. Viper position 3 falls off. If it's a 2, can still not transition as well because they changed some of the talents. Ursa really relies on second Roshan, so we'll see how GIGACHADELAIDE are going to be able to scale this game.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked about Viper, whether or not this Viper is going to be flexed into the mid lane or as a 3 on Unleashed. It's something that we've seen them do a couple of times. If he does go into the 3, he's likely going to be laning against this Weaver Ogre Magi duo. Do you think that's a good lane for him?
I think it's fine. Against the Ogre, it's probably pretty solid. They're going to go for the Gyro, so this
could be Weaver 2.
I think it's more likely Gyro 2 if they're going to do that. I was trying to think in my head if they could put the Tide Hunter in a different lane. I don't know if they can do that. Like Weaver 3,
10 seconds remaining.
Gyro mid, Tide safe. I don't know. I don't think they can do something too crazy here. I'm surprised they've gone for the Gyrocopter. I mean, Radiant, they're pretty reliant on their mana. Like, this is a dope diffusal play game against the Ursa, against the Viper. But we'll see. It doesn't reveal a whole lot now, which is important because you were highlighting, like, what do they do with the Viper? Is it a good lane versus the Ogre Weaver? I think it's pretty solid. The powerful thing that GIGACHADELAIDE had is that they had the Ultra last pick. So you could get a very, very favorable lane matchup with the Viper. And then your 24th pick could have been another really solid lane matchup as well. But now not knowing where the Gyro's going kind of throws a spanner in the works here. So we'll see how long they're going to take and what hero Reem looks to pick up.
Yeah, certainly. We'll just have to wait and see. But, I mean, you are certainly right there. And before we have the final pick, Ancient Apparition mid to counter the Satanic Gyrocopter. That would be certainly Reem Nizzle-esque in terms of spice factor. We'll have to wait and see if he decides to whip that one out. But certainly going into overtime, Tinkerband out here from GIGACHADELAIDE. I know that's a hero that is kind of ridiculous. I don't think I saw a single game. Oh, that is going to be the classic Reem Nizzle Earth Spirit. We know how much he loves this hero. That is going to be the Earth Spirit taken to the mid lane, which means it is going to be unleashed likely on that Viper 3 that we talked about. Yes, indeed. And it is going to be Gubala rocking the Gyrocopter mid.
I like the Earth Spirit. Well, I think it's very good versus the Weaver. You've got a lot of control now to bring him down. You've got lanes to gank as well. Like an Ursa Lion's a very strong lane to gank. Hoodwink Viper, very strong lane as well. I think you've drafted the strength hero though into a Gyrocopter 2 that is going Diffusal Blade. If Gubala doesn't go Diffusal, I would be incredibly surprised. I think Diffusal is the way to go, at least how I'm looking at this position too. The Earth Spirit is, I think, definitely a hero they were needing. You need some beefy hero that can help start fights because Lion will need Blink and the Hoodwink has a little bit of difficulties being the sole hero to start. So the Earth Spirit can definitely provide that. And again, it's a lineup though that a little bit different. They had a lineup they want to try and scale to the late game with the Medusa. This time they're on a bit of a timer.
Yeah, certainly, and this is one of the only games I think we've seen GIGACHADELAIDE not go for a level 1 smoke, which is interesting. Of course, before we hop into our next game, folks, just a reminder that you're tuned into the AEL Uni League, presented by Chatime Australia, which I'm sipping on here, and it's definitely very, very good. So if you're sitting there watching and you're thinking, wow, I'm quite parched, I could use something to drink, well, reach no further and go and check out your local Chatime store. But in the meantime, we're going to be hopping into this game to UOW, one game away from getting the 2 for back-to-back double 2021 season champions, and it's going to be GIGACHADELAIDE looking to take 2 games back-to-back to try and claim the upset. And they've done it once. They've certainly been down a game in a best-of-3 series against UOW and taken it back in the past. Whether or not they're going to be able to do it twice is up for debate.
Yeah, that's the question here. Can they do it twice, or can the boys on GIGACHADELAIDE kind of be the second team through 2021 to hold the chip? Do they have the lineup to be able to do that as well? I mean, I honestly, if Gyro goes Diffusal, I think Dire win this game. I don't know, man. This Diffusal blade looks super strong. So I really hope Gabala goes down that route. I'm excited to see. You were saying that Reem, he's really comfortable in the Ursula. This does look like a game he could take over, like I was highlighting. I think all the side lanes are have high access for the Ursula to gank, and Reem didn't have to play off this high tempo, getting early Roshan, early first Rosh to enable the early second Rosh, because Ursa still is a hero that relies heavily on the Aghanim shard.
Yeah, certainly. It is definitely a hero that Reem Nizzle is comfortable on. I know I was talking to him a little bit about it, and he said that he wasn't able to pull off the... He labeled it the Earth Spirit combo. He didn't really go into too much detail about what the Earth Spirit combo is. But he says it does basically enough damage to one-shot someone with the Aghanims once you are able to do it correctly. And he wasn't able to do it in the last games that he picked Earth Spirit, so maybe we'll see him do it this time. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see how... I'm intrigued as well on what the combo is with the Aghanims. I'm not too sure what he's speaking about here, but bottom for Billy and Divide. Tide, he's actually started with the boots and the tango, so feeling like he needs to... This is not how I thought they were going to play the lane. I thought he was just going to go a bunch of stats and through the early levels look to bully out the Ursa, because you do have a big advantage through the early levels, but there's definitely other ways you can play it with the high movement speed and just trying to avoid the Ursa. So the recognition early from Clovis is that he's going to need to counter that with his own boots, and he's already got that queued up.
Certainly is indeed. And again, Clovis looking to just get aggressive onto Billy the Brawler here.
Ours, not yours.
And we just got the position 4s. They're 1v1 going at the moment. Divide doing a good job to stop the pull from Psycho. Both the supports have the small and the hard camp to be able to utilize here. So with the lane shoved out, something that Tide Hunter often does because of the anchor smash. I'd like to see Divide potentially going for a pull here on the next camp. But they might go on Billy though. Level 2's picked up. Instead, they want to try and target Divide.
Yeah, Rubik, I mean, probably does not need much in the way of help, I guess. You know, he's kind of just able to sit back and, you know, chuck out Fade Bolts. But, I mean, Rubik, I'm sure you would agree, Aries, he's kind of known as a very weak laning hero. He doesn't really do much. He sits back, kind of, you know, throws out Fade Bolts. But, you know, unlike most other position 4s, he does scale into a hero that can almost solo carry team fights if he's against the right composition. So... you know, he's perfectly happy to just kind of sit behind Tide Hunter here, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. He used to be known as actually like a really strong laning stage hero, but I don't know what happened. Like, he kind of fell off.
They nerfed Fade Bolt like 10 patches in a row.
yeah, they did do just that. It's such a fun hero to be able to play whenever you're looking for, whoever you're a core player and you got to play support. It's like, all right, let's pull out the Rubik.
Let's pull out the support that barely supports, looks to carry instead. No, absolutely, you're correct there.
Yeah, well, how's his top lane going at the moment here? The Viper, 11 last hits compared to the 9 on Mark. So you see the struggle town. You know, Weaver probably going to have to secure a lot of his CS off the back of Sakuchi. So this is naturally, again, going to shove out the lane. Kid, who didn't have the small camp to utilize until now. So this will try and help with the creeper equilibrium. Wonder if Mark's even going to think about going into a bottle just because he's really relying on Sakuchi to last here.
We remain to see. Do you think just due to the presence of Lion being in this game with the Blink Hex, this is going to be a Lincoln sort of game for the Weaver very early?
Thanks.
You should be going like early items Lincolns is that like the Weaver doesn't farm fast at all. Like you don't... Sakuchi... Oh, bottom lane? Clovis? No, he's okay. So yeah, Sakuchi's not the greatest item to be able to... ability, I should say, to be able to flash farm. So you kind of need like a Maelstrom to be able to keep up, which is a bit of an issue for the games where you do want like an earlier Lincolns.
Yeah, definitely. I have seen that be sort of the trade-off with these Weavers. And oh my goodness, First Blood, they're just relentless under this tier 1 tower. And it looks like they get a little bit too relentless. As Clovis Noopson, aka Hugh, picking up First Blood against Davai Lama. But 4 minutes and 38 seconds for First Blood. Very atypical for these two teams.
Yeah, without a doubt. At the moment, we see Gubala doing a very good job being able to shove out his lane and then go back and stack up the jungle. See if he pops the flak just to get multiple camps. He's actually going to look to farm it here from Gubala. So you're feeling like he wants a little bit of extra gold and experience to be able to help out. Never mind, he's just going to use some mana and go back to the lane because Reem, he has shoved it out. So Gubala feels forced to come back and get some of the lane creeps. But bottom lane, so just a little bit of action breaking. I'd really like to see Radiant try and make their way into the triangle to get some information down.
Yeah, it definitely remains to be seen. Meanwhile, though, Gubala looking to get very aggressive. The cooldown is used on top of Reem. Nizzle could be a solo kill here from the UOW mid laner. TP's coming through. They'll try and help him out. In comes Andros, the bushwhack. Gonna be missed, and Reem is gonna get away with his life. Just barely.
I have to say it, but if Gubala didn't use the mana to try and farm up the stacks before, he would have had enough for Rocket Barrage. That would have been a kill. Gubala's probably kicking himself now. The fact that he went for that, but nonetheless, I mean, it's going to pretty much force Reem out of the lane. There's no bounty for him to... will actually be spawning very shortly. Let's see if he gets lucky with the top rune as well. And he will. Gubala! Okay, Reem got it.
Yeah, interestingly, he's actually not going for the stats gyro build, which you often see being picked up on this hero, where you kind of skip any points in Rocket Barrage and you just sort of go for maxing flat cannon, and then once that's maxed, you just put all your levels into stats until you can't put any more into stats and just be a farming machine with that flat cannon, farming all the stacks on the map. But no, he's actually going for points in the Rocket Barrage, trying to be a little bit more of a duelist in the early to mid game. Whether or not that's going to pay off, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you see right now, like, he's probably not too happy with maybe the extra point in Rocket Barrage that he went for. I think he went for 2, like at level 3, he had 2 points Rocket Barrage, so maybe was wanting it for some early harassment, but now that the lane's kind of broken down and he's getting a lot more farm in the jungle, maybe he would have liked the extra level in there. But you know, if he wanted to now, it would have been maxed out at 7, but regardless, Gubala's having a very good lane. Meanwhile, for Reem, though, he's had the urn for quite some time and he's still yet to find some urn charges. You really need to find these, you know, funneling towards his hero as early as possible. And if this rotation, and they get nothing out of it, then this is huge for Dire.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah, they're aware. Look how they're playing.
Does look like they know. The sneaking suspicion about what's going on. Gubala, though, you know, again, we are seeing him just farm up, but yeah, no, on that gyrocopter, very common that, you know, I've seen gyros. Ooh, never mind, big engage coming through from Reem, rolls over the wall. The cooldown is used to try and get him off, but Magnetize doing so much damage onto Gubala. One more tick should do the trick. No, he's going to be able to pop the wand and just get enough health to get out. No, indeed, Andros coming through to finish him off, and the bushwhack is there to finish off Billy the Brawler as well. And looks like the fight is going to still keep on going. Beautifully placed Earth Spike from Psycho.
Ooh.
Triple kill from Andros, grabbing that one with the sharpshoot. In comes Reem with the stun. Another kill, and that is going to be GIGACHADELAIDE. 5 kills already at 8 minutes into the game, and it is looking like they are going to be snowballing out of their mind. You talked about earn charges on this Earth Spirit. Well, Ares, there's your earn charges.
Tower is under attack.
Yep, that's exactly what you're looking for. And also they, you know, I was saying earlier, I want to see some vision down by the triangle, and they contested a perfect timing to be able to take away the hard camp stack. They also scouted out the Ancients as well, 3,000 net worth lead for Radiant, and well, they're looking to try and force this one to a game 3.
Yeah, certainly does seem to be the case. I mean, Billy the Brawler still just kind of farming down on this bot side, looking for his items. Does have level 6 available though. Ravage is there. We'll see if they try and position him more towards the mid lane here, or rotate some people down towards this safe lane to really play around Ravage.
Yeah, I mean, you see Billy, it's a bit of a different game though. He's about 1,000 net worth behind his position 1, laning opposition. This is just a free farm for Ursa, who himself is working on the diffusal blade. No, Gubala's not going to diffusal. Okay, I'm all Radiant.
Yeah, he is going for the drums, actually. Have you seen drums gyro before?
I think it was picked up a little bit whenever the gyro was being played as a position 2 at TI. I mean, drums is a very an item that's underutilized and heavily undervalued. So I'm intrigued to see how much work Gubala is going to get out of it. It's a big kill on Clovis they can get it.
Ravage is available. They've TP'd MPTW down here to try and cut him off. TPs are coming around though. Ravage popped by Billy the Brawler. It's actually going to pick up Andros right as he comes out of his TP. And that are going to be able to secure the kill onto Clovis Noobson. Further TPs come through here though from GIGACHADELAIDE. Finger of Death dropped onto Billy the Brawler. And that is going to be a nice little return for GIGACHADELAIDE. Only trading 1 for 1. And maybe a little bit more as they do get a Finger of Death charge on the Psycho as well.
See how different of a game it is though for the Tidehunter. Like there's just way too many heroes here that he's counted by. It's not going to get much easier as well. So they're going to look to smoke down Radiant. Mark, uh-oh, it's not a good position.
Yeah, BTW, unfortunately, he's caught up in the roll into Bushwhack. And again, Reem Nizzle collecting those earned charges, looking to build towards next couple of items. Big magnetized though. Look at the damage being dropped down. Divine Llama immediately taken out. Kid as well next on the agenda. And this is the strength of Ursa, just able to come online so early and chase these heroes down as a position 1. Gubala maybe going to be next on the agenda. Bushwhack just barely going to miss there, unfortunately. Andros looking to snipe him out with that sharpshoot. Look at the damage on that ultimate on the Hoodwink. So that is going to be GIGACHADELAIDE, you know, just running an absolute clinic, taking away these stacks.
Yeah, I mean, I was very impressed with how Dire were able to play the lane and still get a lot of stacks off, but they're not taking it. Dire have got a ward in the vicinity, so they know this is happening. They're going to look to defend it. Oh, it was a huge cooldown. Oh, they get away. Scot-free, just like that.
Reem Nizzle does have the bomb chasing after him. Cooldown is used. He's going to be able to roll up the high ground, though. And on Gubala, maybe caught out a little bit too far. Q looking to chase him down here. The Enrage is popped. Reem pops the urn onto Gubala. Billy the Brawler might be going down here. Sharpshoot. It's barely going to miss. Probably would have been the death of Billy the Brawler if that did connect. But UOW are going to hold on. Not take any more losses just here. We'll see if they're able to defend this tier 1. Divine Llama, maybe the only one here that can at the moment. He does have Sharpshoot stolen. Whether or not that is going to play into this upcoming fight, if they do decide to defend it, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, this is exactly what you're looking for from Radiant. A lineup that's pretty much on the timer. And with the gold advantage, they have prime position for them to continue with this advantage here. There's a lot of emphasis on Dire. He needs to delay the game. Weaver needs the time. Mark didn't have the greatest lane still yet without the Maelstrom. Actually, I believe it's coming out on the Courier now. So that will be his farming item. Andros is waiting the wings here to start the fight.
Yeah, Andros charging up that sharpshoot. It's going to connect onto... Or is it the telekinesis? He's barely getting out of there. Charges up the sharpshoot. It connects onto Reem Nizzle, but Reem Nizzle going to be able to take him down as well. 1 for 1 onto the Fed position 2. That is a worth trade for Divine Llama. That is definitely an all-chat worth moment if I've ever seen one. But MPTW does have this Maelstrom online, and do you think Lincoln's second here is the correct choice?
Nah, that's too... Probably too defensive and a little bit too much gold. I think he needs a more cost-effective item. Gubala's in trouble. Jesus, zap down Psycho, no messing around. We saw how he was able to use the Finger of Death last game, had so many stacks, and Mark could be in trouble running the high ground too. Psycho's got the detection.
Hexed up, but unfortunately, just due to how Shikuchi works, he's able to speed on out of there. To any viewers at home that don't know, Shikuchi...
Oh, bottom lane, Billy.
No time to even explain. Billy the Brawler getting collapsed on in the bot side. The TP is coming through. Andros kind of wasting sharpshoot, I suppose, but definitely good reactions there from GIGACHADELAIDE getting themselves another nice pick. But yeah, as I was saying, Shikuchi, for the viewers at home, actually does set your move speed. So even if you're hit by something like the Lion Hex after you turn into it, you'll still be able to speed around at that Shikuchi move speed until it expires. Which is pretty much the difference maker there for MBTW to get out of there alive. Does look like he's going to be queuing up those power treads next.
This is huge, though, that Radiant haven't taken Roche. I mean, you're 14 minutes in. We've seen teams do it at 9 minutes, 11 minutes. And the fact that you've had pretty much a 4,000 lead for 4-5 minutes of this game is really worrying that they haven't taken tier 1 mid or Roshan as well, because you need that as fast as possible. Ursa snowballs off the second Roche timing. He wants to have that available as early as he can. So Radiant, they're still, of course, 12-2 kill count, 3,000 net worth lead. If you're looking like that, you feel like, yeah, they're in prime position, but I'd say they're a little bit behind on these objectives, however.
Yes, certainly. One of the big strengths of this Ursa pick is his ability to take Roshan. That has been the case since, Dota 2 literally came out. Maybe even in Dota 1. I don't know. I didn't play Dota 1.
I didn't play Dota 1 either.
Someone else is probably more educated to tell me if
early
Roshans were meta in Dota 1 on Ursa as well.
Yeah, alright, died. Exactly, love the setup. They need to come all over to mid. You've got a catapult wave. Maybe they don't feel like they can defend it. So the Nether Toxin on the Rubik, unfortunately, not enough. Potentially, that was what Radiant were waiting for. That next catapult timing to be able to take towers. This is something we have to highlight. Radiant, they very much do lack ways to claim objectives. Ursa is not one of the greatest tower sieges at all. Potentially you can kind of fix that issue in other roles. Actually, bottom lane, hold that thought. Got a battle about to break out.
Yeah, the TPs are coming through. They do know that Billy the Brawler and Gubala are there, and they're going to come in and collapse immediately. The stun is looking to make its way over to Psycho, but Gubala going to get melted down, but the fight even breaks out. Here's MPTW, though. Big Ravage is going to connect itself onto 2. Unleashed is going to go down. Psycho not going to have to suffer the same fate. And now it does look like GIGACHADELAIDE are going to continue the chase. Billy the Brawler going to be able to grab himself a nice TP out, up to the top side, rotate, push out that wave. That is going to be a 1-for-1, which, I mean, in UOW's position is probably worth. But not for long.
There you go.
Hey, we can see
Diddy Roche. There you go. Thank you, Tsunami. Perfect voice line for the occasion. Billy, don't farm this, my guy. That's a dead time. Wait, no way.
Unless he
No
is just
way.
absolutely
No way.
smooth criminal? What?
Okay, well, Billy's chilling. See, they're the times I'm like when I'm playing games. I want to know how close I was to dying. Just that one misstep. I want to know how close I am in so many times. And for Billy, I mean, he was literally milliseconds away if he chose the wrong decision. And luckily enough,
Yeah, he's going to be able to get out of there alive. I mean, well played.
so... I mean, we're seeing Die that still the net worth lead isn't growing. Yes, they've lost ages, but it was later than what Radiant were hoping. The T1 tower later as well. The big timing next for Radiant is going to be BKB's. Viper very far behind in regards to his net worth. Even Gubala is taking a bit of a hit as well. So it's dire. Again, I cannot stress enough. They are looking to go into the late game. Can they get there though is going to be the question, because Radiant looking to smoke up and see who they can find.
I have to see if they're able to get a pick here. No one in this topside jungle, though, to run into them. Unless there's some random miracle TP to this outpost. Does not look like that's going to be the case. They're just going to likely go in here. Probably grab themselves some vision. Get a little bit of farm for themselves. Onto Unleashed, who is looking to farm towards this BKB.
Oh no. What's Rubik got? He's only got Acorn shot. If he had Nether Toxin, it'd be much easier to defend this tower. Okay, never mind. Cast range is crazy.
My goodness, look at the roll distance on Reem. And he's going to go again. They find him, unfortunately. Goodbye, Dabai Lama. That's a talent that makes it longer, right? Yeah, 325 roll distance. Oh my goodness. Went from like here to here with one roll. That is absurd.
Uh-oh, gotta get out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Wait, that's huge. If Dire get out here, that's massive. My lord, they didn't even take top, Gubala. Not the high ground, brother. That's another smoke.
Oh my goodness, Runazul Gonna kick him over. He did get the stun off in time, though, and Reem Nizzle is gonna get affected. Here comes the rest of the crew, though. They have to watch out. Big Ravage is gonna hit all 5 members. This is huge for UOW. UOW are absolutely collapsing on this. Gubala in the backside has the TP out to try and get away from Unleashed and Hugh, and unfortunately the damage is going to be too much. He's not going to be able to get out in time. Reem Nizzle kiting himself around here with this haste rune. Billy the Brawler barely dodging out of the rolling boulder from Reem Nizzle. In he comes, though, looking to try and finish this one off, but MPTW is going to be his savior, keeping the Tide alive, but not for long. The Magnetize, unfortunately, going to do its job in the end, and here's MPTW just playing cleanup crew on this Weaver. The break is there. Shikuchi, another couple auto attacks will do the trick. It's position 1 against position 1. I don't think MBTW wins this one. He's just going to pop the Shikuchi and run away. But that is going to be absolutely massive for UOW. A goal change in their favor. When you're that far behind, you know, a fight that even is definitely something that you're looking for.
That is a 5-man Ravage without a blink. My guy just runs into the middle, drops one button, hits all 5, turns the fight like that. This hero still stupid. We haven't brought it up just yet as well, but the recognition on this man to go Aghanim Scepter, that is, I love the thought process. He's identified, I am not a tanky hero this game. They've counted me way too heavy. I cannot sit in the front line, so I've got to be a hero playing the back and just spamming Gush as much as possible. Because you've got the Weaver, you've got the Gyro that's going to be able to combine with all this physical damage, and he's recognized I cannot itemize to keep myself alive no matter what I go. So first item Aghanims will give me some prowess, and the next item Blink will enable him to get more and more Ravages like that, and all of a sudden, Dire, they're back in this game. 2,000 deficit, completely waste the first Aegis timing, and now they're going to look to smoke and try and find Clovers.
And whether or not they find someone could definitely be very, very big. But no, you're completely right there about that play. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the old Super Smash Bros. Melee moment, but he walked up slowly and ravaged.
Clovers? Oh, my guy's chilling. Alright, so the BKBs are going to be the next thing here for Raid. He's still unleashed. My god, this Viper's struggling to find the items. Reem, is he going BKB? I think it's coming out on the Corey. Okay, this is a big item from Reem, almost level 15 as well, so this is going to be a bit of a timing here once Ursa finds his own BKB, but again, that's also giving space to Dire.
Yeah, I think I remember the combo that Reem Nizzle was talking about was something like drop totem, enchant totem with Ags, kick totem, pull totem, roll totem on someone.
That's a lot of totems for me, I'm sure.
And,
not the Spirit player.
Apparently that like one-shot someone if you do it correctly, so I'm keen to see if he's able to pull it off.
So he needs the Ags for it, you're saying, yeah?
Yes, he did say he needs Ags. Because the totem explosion does like a bunch of damage.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know what it did the damage off the explosion. Looking to smoke up, Psycho. Pretty solid position here to pop the smoke, if that's going to be the case. Dive got very good vision around the area. They don't start fights well.
That's going to be telekinesis, though, onto Reem. The cooldown used immediately. BKB is popped by Reem, though. He's trying to kite the fight around. We'll see if he's going to be able to re-engage here. Either way, they find Unleashed off on the backside. Tries to get the roll away, but it is going to get interrupted by Gubala. Magnetize trying to do its thing, but unfortunately, this is just too big for them to handle. An MPTW coming up huge, wicked sick with a triple kill. And all of a sudden, it looks like UOW are actually in the driving seat of this game.
That they are. I mean, a DD from Gubala. Ursa didn't want to TP down to the fight again. He didn't have BKB. That's what I was highlighting, Reed. They're looking for the BKBs, but Dire not giving them the opportunity. Smoke up as 5, head to the outpost. It doesn't matter that the Ravage wasn't on point. They could dwindle down the numbers. They kited the BKB, and also beautiful positioning as well from Gubala to stop the roll away. And now they're the first team to take the T2 tower. Now it's a heavy commitment with their wards down bottom. They placed 3 wards here. So I really want to see Dire look to try and control this bottom side of the map.
Yes, certainly could be another fight breaking out in the mid though. Blink into Hex, into Finger of Death. They finally take down MPTW. 7 times kill streak coming to a close. And they might just be able to grab that pick off and back off immediately. No! Clovis Noobson's actually going to find a second kill onto Devi Lama. Kid is going to trade one back onto Andros, though, so that is going to be a 1-for-1. 2 dead on the side of UOW. And this is going to be Roshan coming up in 8 seconds. We'll see if they're ready for it. They actually walk in and check it. I hope they walk back in and don't think that it's not spawning for quite some time, because it is... No, okay. It doesn't get the instant Roshan spawn. It's going to be up in about a minute 13.
And that's huge for Dire. I mean, Mark's still down for 30 seconds. Blink completed on the tie, but his Ravage is still down for another 40. So I just have to highlight it again. Dire, they just put a lot of vision down bot. The next objective, the story of this game is second Roche. That's going to be the pivotal moment. If Radiant, they can get the Aghanim Shard onto the Ursa, then that could just be... they could literally turn this game back around into Radiant's favor.
Certainly time will tell, but Blink Dagger completed on Billy the Brawler. TP is coming through from MBTW. They're going to look to try and come down here onto Reem. Blink into Gush, trying to look for the BKB into Roland. Yes, indeed. Reemdale's going to be able to get himself out to safety. Gyro Rocket chasing him down just because he can. He's going to have to sit there and think about what he did for a little while.
Is it Buster? They got Buster on the Gyro? I think he's Buster. Yeah, alright. I'm making sure. The little missile called... Oh, they're actually going to take the fight?
Yeah, Blink Ravage is going to connect onto Unleashed, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get taken down. BKB popped. Meanwhile, Andros in the backside here, looking to try and cause a little bit of mischief. But not enough. That is going to be
happy
really the
with that. I think you are way too happy with that if you're ready. You can't use ultimates and BKBs like that when you don't know if Roche is up. That's now a 2-minute window where Radiant can contest Roshan.
Roche is certainly up. That shard available, as we said. You know, that shard is very good on Ursa, being able to pop the Enrage every single time you use that Shock. Meanwhile, though, they are just getting chased down. Great Bushwhack is going to be used to buy a little bit of space for Radiant, but now Dire definitely looking to try and control this triangle.
Radiant can fire.
And that they are indeed going to do. Kid is going to blow up before the fight even begins. And now they're looking for more. Reem on the backside. Magnetize doing its thing. They're going to find themselves Davai Lama and Billy the Brawler. 2 kills down. Gubala going to be the next on their agenda. MBTW, the only survivor buyback available on Kid. But I highly, highly doubt we're going to see that one come out here. And with 5 still alive on the side of GIGACHADELAIDE, you talked about second Roshan. GIGACHADELAIDE are going to take this one uncontested.
Yeah, that's, again, a big mistake. You just... One, you cannot use a Ravage like that solo on a Viper when you know Roshan is literally going to make or break this game. It means you don't have that big ultimate nor BKBs for the triangle fight, which some reason they were trying to take. You're not powerful right now, and you give a big advantage. Aegis, Aghanim Shard over to the Ursa, and Clovis, he can start to go into some different items as well. It looks like the Swift Blink is going to be the item, which is actually back into the Abyss.
Yeah, I mean, here, 8 seconds is going to be the cooldown on that Earthshock, and he's going to be enraged every single time he clicks it now. It's going to be so hard for this sort of bursty team to take him down. And I mean, you talked about Weaver needing damage, but, you know, he didn't just go for the Lincolns after the Maelstrom. He went for the BKB, and then now the Lincoln's third. He's going full defensive build on this Weaver, not looking to get any damage items at all.
He's going Scotty. He's going Scotty. No,
oh, Scotty. Sorry, I did think that was Lincoln's for a moment. Okay, well, I mean, that is going to give him some survivability, certainly.
Billy? It's pretty good Ravage.
Yeah, that is going to be Psycho taken down before the fight even starts. In comes Clovis, pops the BKB, going to smack down Gubala. First kill taken out, as well as Davai Lama. And this is just GIGACHADELAIDE flexing their Ursa right now, how massive he is after that Roshan taken down.
Reem's going to cut him off too. Nice blink from Billy. Still under a ward though.
And that is going to be unfortunate. He's going to get kicked back onto Clovis. And look at the damage coming out from Clovis Noobson on this Ursa. So strong. And then, you know, we talked about this Tidehunter. He's just not as tanky as he was in that game 1. And he has to be really careful about being a target to collapse on in these fights.
Let's see how difficult it is going to siege high ground, though. So not the greatest once again to be able to take these objectives. And if Ruby can steal the Nether Toxin, then you will not have a creep wave to go high ground. So, how long they got? They got 3 minutes left on the Aegis. Dire just have to kite this. Radiant, they don't have the greatest pick-off lineup. Oh, I say that actually. It's not the worst. Lion with Blink. Earth Spirit is nuts with the level 10 talent, and also Andros can kind of play in the wings. But if they do it right, they can definitely delay this game long enough. I don't think Radiant can go high ground with this second Roche, but maybe it'll give them enough of a net worth lead just to close out the map and make it very difficult to Dire to get anything across. Question is those... Where's that farm going to start to funnel into? Mark is still second in the net worth. Scotty now completed. It's going to take him up a hell of a amount, but Radiant, I really think they've got the burst to go through him. We've got the finger, sharpshooter, even Ursa with Blink to follow up. So Mark, he's going to be really, really on point here. I still feel like they can play aggressive, though. A little bit surprised with how they're posturing on the map. I mean, Radiant, what are they waiting for at the moment? The almost Aghanim Scepter from Andros. Ursa's looking to continue farm towards Abyssal. They're actually TPing by the T2 tower, so maybe they'll look to smoke now. Okay, here we go. Radiant smoked up as 4. Mark might be the target at the moment, but Spidey sense is tingling. Gabala's away from the team, however. So they won't have the gyro for the fight here, will they?
That's if there even is a fight. I mean, we do see... Dire, as you mentioned, no, Davai Lama is going to get caught out. Kicked back into the team. It's going to be a very dead Rubik by the looks of things.
Oh, Mark. Okay. Give me a little bit of a worry there for a second. You're fine with losing the Rubik. Gabala's Aghanim's now completed. The lane's getting shoved out. You're more than happy with just dropping the position 4 there. They can't get any objectives out of it. All the lanes are shoved out, so beautifully played from Dire.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, we saw
Dire's bottom tower
the Ursa get 1 hit onto MBTW. And if that 1 hit procced Basher, I mean, that could have been very, very different. Had a 25% chance there to maybe just blow up the Weaver, but unfortunately, no bash, so he's going to get out of there and live to see another day.
Top lane, it's trying to set up on Gubala. Oh, Gubala's in trouble.
Cooldown is used. BKB trying to kite this one away. The rolls from Reem are coming through. He does have some more remnants available.
Bash.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Barely
they found
gets out of
Weaver.
Yeah, they have indeed found Weaver, and that is going to be a very dead Weaver at that.
Oh, I was just saying, I didn't think he was going to be survivable enough with the Ursa, but that's just Lion and Hoodwink that's able to bring him down, probably off the back of Andros having the Hunter's Boomerang for the extra damage amplification.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And now they're going to be able to take the tier 2 tower up top. They're looking for some high ground as well. Aegis has been claimed. See how Dire can hold. Rubik, he should already be back ready to go. I mean, you've got such incredible high ground defense with the Fade Bolt. He's got Finger of Death stolen though, so it doesn't really... You really want Nether Toxin for a defense like this, but because you've stolen such a good ability, honestly, it's kind of a bait here in a way.
Yeah, it certainly is, but look at how they're just able to just put Clovis Noobson up in the front line, not even worried about an engage.
Gonna use his Fade Bolt, brother.
There it is.
Honestly, I'd like to see him just drop Finger and get the Nether Toxin. I think you got to get him off the barracks, use your abilities. You don't have the Aegis advantage. Get him weak enough.
He's just popping these enrages, and they do take down the melee racks. Little robot chasing down Q. Kid trying to force start forward. Look for the stun. It's going to connect onto Reemnizzle. Same with the Fade Bolt. Big Ravage is going to connect onto 2. Unleash. BKB is popped to try and get them off. Big 2-man Bushwhack, though, coming through from Andros. Is going to connect onto Gubala. And now Gubala very, very low indeed. Meanwhile, on the backside, it looks like Reem is just causing absolute rampage. Chaos. MBTW tries to pop the time lapse to buy himself a little bit of space. Big damage right now happening. Whether or not MBTW is going to get out is remain to be seen. No! GIGACHADELAIDE are going to cut him down to size, and now Billy the Brawler, the only one left alive. These GIGACHADELAIDE health bars are so low, but unfortunately there's no damage left to finish them off. Divine Llama, the only one that's there. He is going to pop the Viper Strike onto Unleashed. Don't think it's going to be enough to kill. No, indeed. Buyback used by Billy the Brawler. Gubala as well, still alive. Does have cooldown coming up in 7 seconds to defend this Rax.
Oh, they won't need it.
Radiant's
It's a
is under attack.
huge advantage for Radiant now. 16,000 gold, and if we go to the melee, you just see Billy unfortunately tunnel visioning too heavily onto the line, and they've got so much control now that the Weaver can't stand his ground. Gubala is not tanky enough as well to be able to man fight. You just... I wonder how different this game could have been if he thought about the diffuser blade here, but now he's going to have to go the long distance to look to scale to see how their high ground defense can fare, but it's not looking good at the moment for Dire.
Do you want to talk to the audience exactly why the diffusal blade would have been so good here?
I think it's the factor that you've got all 3 cores on Radiant don't have a lot of mana at all. I mean, Earth Spirit 2.1 intel gain, Ursa 1.5, Viper 2. So you just take a look. These are 3 cores that aren't intel, so very much rely on their mana usage as well. And if you've got a diffuser blade, like it's diffuser blade is going to negate the damage throughout the fights as well, because if they can't use their spells, then where's the damage coming from? So it would have been a huge kind of early game timing. Gubala? No, Andros wasn't going to chuck out the bushwhack there, so it's now put themselves in a really difficult position for Dire to be able to hold this. I mean, you do have... We brought it up a little bit earlier, but Dire do have very strong synergies with the amplification they're providing. Bloodlust, Swarm minus armor, Gush minus armor, Fade Bolt damage reduction as well is incredibly solid, but you need to kite these BKBs, and they haven't been able to do so because of how many stuns Radiant have at the moment.
You're gonna love the Dota client having a bit of a spaz there for a moment, but no, we're all good, we're all good. I was worried the game was gonna...
Gubala's in trouble.
Yeah, indeed, Gubala does have to watch out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe gonna get out of here. No, Reem's gonna come in with the roll. And that is gonna be a nice pick up there, Andros. Gunning him down. Finish off the kill. Gubala dead. And Roshan is alive. And this is gonna be Aghanim's Scepter. This could be going over the way of Reem Nizzle, I'd imagine. That Aghanim's very strong on Earth Spirit. And Reem, someone that we've seen make great use of it in the past.
We'll see what's the case. Clovis?
No, it's actually
right, he'll take
Clovis.
it. Yeah, I don't hate it at all. Being able to use the Enrage while you are disabled is huge. Now it completely takes away the Tide Hunter Ravage to be able to blow everyone up through that massive ultimate. So I really don't hate this at all. I mean, you've got an Ursa who's literally just top of the net worth and unkillable. I mean, what's the plan here, Dire? Gonna need something crafty.
Definitely. I mean, we do see Daedalus queued up here from MBTW.
Okay, well, that could be the go. You're definitely needing damage as this game goes later and later. Billy's just doing whatever he can to try and shove out the side lanes, but this feels like it's well and truly in the bag. I mean, 96 win probability for Radiant.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top barracks.
There's a tall graph, to say the least. Wrong.
Yeah, when you're this far ahead, your issues with taking objectives are not really highlighted at all. Feels pretty free at the moment on Radiant. They're going to look to try and do some maintenance on their creep waves, and they can go back in. I mean, still Billy's doing a very good job at least keeping bottom shoved out.
Reem Nizzle
Gold and sweet.
putting on an absolute clinic with this Earth Spirit this game. Does have the Sanjin Kaya completed, looking to go for the Shivas next. And the Shivas going to be obviously very strong at dealing with their backline, smacking them with a slow so they're not able to run away from this Ursa. They have the Lotus Orb completed as well. I believe that's on Unleashed. Yes, indeed. It's going to make it very, very hard for them to chuck the Fade Bolt, the Gyro Stun, all those sorts of things at him. And they are just going to look to try and siege high ground while this Aegis is still up. They got 2 minutes 50 to do it. Billy the Brawler waiting off in the wings, though. Does have that Blink Ravage available.
They do have a really nice ward on the backline here from Dire. So we see how much that's going to pay off. I really wouldn't hate actually seeing them smoke and wrap all the way around. I think that's going to be really important for them to potentially take a fight here just to bring down some of the supports. Because that's a lot of the control. The Lion and the Hoodwink have to be main priority. Viper doesn't have control. If you can kite the Abyssal Blade, then that's huge on the Ursa. So they're the targets on Dire. And we'll see how they can identify that themselves, though.
See... Stormcrafts are picked up. I wonder if anyone will use it. If anyone is willing to part with their neutral items. Stormcraft is very good though. The electric damage is definitely noticeable. And it gives you a little mini Yules to dispel as well, which is lovely.
You just see how difficult it is to siege though into Bloodlust Tower with Nether Toxin along with Fade Bolt from such a far away distance, so they actually might not get any other objective out of the third Roche. And this is, I mean, it's still such a huge net worth lead, but at least it is giving time for Dire to find something off the map. Some tier 4 neutral items could be make or break it.
Definitely.
Guess it's my shout.
Gabala is farming underneath an Observer Ward though, and Andros is starting to set up top. Don't go, or don't do it. Oh, they cancelled the TP, at least from the Earth Spirit, so... Yeah, Andros is going to show now. He's even got an Octarine completed, but... You know, jump up the high ground, Clovis.
I did notice that Andros went for the Boomerang here. Which is interesting. I still barely know what this Boomerang does, to be honest.
Yeah, it's an interesting... It does a lot. Back up the high ground, they go from die down, but... Now the Toxin's going to be something to keep in mind. Again, I've been highlighting it so much, but not only for the siege, but also the break against the Ursa. He really needs the Fury swipes. It's a lot of his damage, so I actually don't think you get rid of this ability. I think it's a huge mistake if you take anything else from Divide this game.
Yeah, definitely is going to be
Double damage.
paying some dividends to have that one for the wave clear. Completely right. And they are just holding this high ground so well. Do you think them buying time here is good? Do you think they do have the late game here?
Like, I mean, you're 25,000 gold down, so late game, keep in mind, is probably like 20 minutes away for them. Like, you have better scaling on the Gyro and the Weaver, but Gabala is very poor. He's now got Basher, which is a cool item. It's not going to make him more survivable, but he did go for the Ascetic Cap. So a little bit of extra health. They're setting up top on Mark.
Weaver does have to watch out. He has the TP scroll. Gonna just try and bury himself in the trees here before I imagine popping it. No, he's actually gonna pop the beetles.
Oh, he's gonna show.
He's gonna step out for the wave, and instantly the blink into the Hex and into the Finger of Death sharpshoot. That is gonna be a very dead insect.
They're looking for Unleashed. You see Dire, like, they don't have pick-off potential, though. It's so awkward with how they play the map. Like, they're so slow and immobile. And now with Mark down for 80 seconds, Radiant gonna look to try and force the buyback. But again, still going high guns rough. Dire, they need to get back to defend.
TPs are available, but see them, they're pushing so far. We get the stun onto Unleash, but the Lotus Orb is there. This rocket, the rocket that might actually cancel his TP. He has to be careful that he doesn't like try and TP out before the rocket hits. Okay, he didn't. That was good. That would have been very embarrassing if the Lotus Orb rocket cancelled his TP back to base. He's going to wait for it to hit, and then now he's going to TP back. Good heads up by Gabala there to not TP too early.
I just don't... Oh, Devi's going to be so careful. We've seen Ursa just randomly blink up high ground. So I just do not see how you push. Like, without without a catapult wave. You just spam abilities from afar. Like, fun. Look at that.
Unleashed is smacking his
jumped.
tower from low ground though, which is only one way to push, but it is very low. One more push like that will be the death of the tower. Might even die here.
That's just how you play the game on Die. It's a slow poke and prod from afar until you find an opening like that one. They didn't jump then, but they're going to get another opening like that, I imagine, and then they need to be ready to pounce. That's when Billy, he's the only one with the blink on Die, so you have to be ready to go.
Definitely, but I mean, 30 seconds until Roshan spawns. I imagine that Radiant are just happy to wait for it. That is assuming it is an instant Roshan spawn. Could not be. Might be another couple minutes. We'll have to wait and see. One of those classic pieces of Dota RNG. Looks like they are going to send Reem over here to check. Put the Remnant down. And will it spawn?
Wait, no, minute. Yeah, we're trying to see. Gabala? Why? My dude's really far ahead.
Yeah,
They said it on cooldown.
Definitely brave. Let's do slowed, increased spell damage, and reduced status. That's annoying.
It's a big item here. It's actually huge for Gabala to potentially get a BKB off before the chain lockdown. And that's what you have to be careful of. They're going to jump.
They actually do find Kubala there with the roll. Telekinesis is there. The Ravage comes through from Billy the Brawler to try and buy a little bit of time. Kubala popping these auto attacks, but look at the damage. The sharpshoot comes through. He's going to get blown up. Immediately pops the buyback though. And again, Daya trying to hold on for dear life here. Billy the Brawler is going to have Finger of Death blown onto him. However, Psycho is going to go down in the end. Reem Nizzle going to be the next target there. Double Gush is going to connect onto Reem and Clovis. Clovis now trying to run away, but the bash is coming through from Kubala. Actually doing quite a bit of work. Another missile is going to be coming his way in just a short amount of time. The enraged damage reduction keeping him alive for so long. But he is going to go down in the end, and Andros looking to be one of the sole survivors, I'm afraid. As well as Psycho, who did buy back in that fight, and he is not going to have to die back as well.
Oh, stay there, Gubala. No, don't leave. Oh.
You hate to see it.
That's Radiant overcommitting under the tower. Again, Billy, unfortunately, we saw the Ravage earlier on before he had the blink. Maybe he should have stuck to not having the blink. That's when he was getting the 5-man Ravages. And now, unfortunately for him, it's just the BKB is a little bit too fast on Radiant because Tentacle's too slow. And someone's got to check Roche. This is your window to come back into the game. You've got to be on the ball about this. And now Devi is. Yeah,
Devi does spot out the Roshan. They see it's there, and they're going to likely move over to it. Force out the buyback on this Ursa, potentially. Surely, if you're Ursa here, do you buyback?
No, you don't have the Ursa. That's a huge throw. Psycho? Oh, huge blink.
Yeah, you actually find Andros here. The cooldown is used. As well as the missile chasing after him, pops the Force Staff to try and get himself a little bit more distance before this stun connects, but it is inevitable. And indeed, the Veil into the Rocket Barrage. And that is going to be Kubala picking up a nice little kill. MBTW finding himself.
That's okay. What have we got? Ags. Do you give that to the Rubik, or is Weaver? Jar doesn't need it. Ty doesn't as well. I don't. Yeah, do you give it a Devi? I mean, this now gives you a lot more freedom on how. Oh, they got a DD. Oh my god, can they end this? Hang on, this is scary. Kubala doesn't have the Aegis, so maybe they give it to Mark. They've got Shard as well for the Tide Hunter, who also has Refresher. Hang on, Daya could just walk it down. You need buybacks here, Radiant. They do have them available, but this is the window.
Yeah, 50 seconds, no Andros available. And here they go. This is going to be the jump. Billy the Brawler coming through, pops the Shivas. Ravage is there, but Clovis noops in with the BKB. It's not going to do anything. He does have that Refresher Shard like we talked about, though, as well as the Refresher Orb. So this is 3 Ravages that they have to go through. Does pop the Refresher Orb here. That's going to be Ravage number 1 used, Ravage number 2 available.
He needs mana. They actually... Tide's a hero that needs mana to take fights. See if they can play around the ward.
Just enough mana available to go through. Tries to blink in for the Ravage. And oh my goodness!
The Rubik telekinesed him.
Tower is under attack.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, get out, get out. They've smoked.
I can't imagine what the UOW team comms sound like right now. I imagine it's not very nice language.
Dire are scanning.
Kabbalah. Jesus Christ.
MBTW, is he going to get found out? No, it does look like he's going to be able to TP out of here. Does have the scroll available. You're going to look down here, though. Going to pop the TP. Back to the base. Live to see another day. My goodness, what a unfortunate turn of events for UOW.
Honestly, Dire could have ended that game there. They had DD and 3 Ravagers. They unfortunately misused some spells there. Again, we're seeing the BKB usages against the Ravagers too difficult to deal with. So now I want to pay attention to Devi. He's got the blink. He's got the instant stun with the telekinesis. Let's see how he can look to set up the fights for Billy. Because at the moment, the Tide hasn't been able to find these key Ravagers on the cause. Their defense is still strong. Like, you still have Rubik with potential Nether Toxin. I don't think you can go high ground here on Radiant. They're going to make an attempt or die. They're actually not even sticking.
Yeah, they might be able to actually, like, take this one away in surprise, as they don't actually see the Radiant here in bot side. They do see them in the mid, though.
They're under a ward too. They're going to see Gubala.
Oh, and here it goes. In comes Clovis. In comes Reem. They're looking for Kabbalah number 1. He gets the BKB off this time, though, so it's not going to be a repeat of that last fight. Double cooldown is used. They're trying to look for MBTW, but he's going to be able to get out in time. Magnetize doing its thing. Sharpshooter on the back line. Going to connect onto MBTW. That's going to be his first life taken down. Aegis is there, though. He's coming back. Massive Ravage connects from Billy the Brawler. That is the Tidehunter effect. It could turn things around, but no. They're just too tanky. It's not going to turn things around at all. And he is just going to get taken down. Andros with the double kill. That is going to be almost all the members of GIGACHADELAIDE coming up huge there. They didn't lose a single member. Buybacks are forced out of UOW. 1, 2, and 3. No buybacks available for Kid or the Gyrocopter. So this is going to be a 3v5 push here in the bot side. They have to stop this. I imagine if Mega Creeps are online, this game is going to become very bad for the UOW lineup.
I don't think they hold this. Not with 3 heroes. I think that's game.
It does appear to be that way. It'll be a miracle if they're able to hold this one down. Billy the Brawler does have that refresher shard available for another Ravage if need be. Have to wait and see if they can turn this around again. Davai Lama, Rubik online. Certainly a hero that is able to do the impossible, but no, he gets blinked on by Clovis, the Abyssal Blade. They're looking for MBTW as well. He's going to go down, and Billy the Brawler, the only one left, pops the Refresher Ravage, but with only a Tidehunter as your saving grace and no more buybacks available, that is going to be GIGACHADELAIDE with GG's called by their enemies, claiming the Game 2, and that is going to be them tying this series up. GIGACHADELAIDE taking it to Game 3.
Yeah, what a performance. I was a little bit worried with how the first Ages didn't go to great success for GIGACHADELAIDE, but with what they were able to do from the second Roche and the BKB timing as well was magnificent. With how they could start the fights on multiple heroes, they just got too much of an advantage from there. The itemization as well was just so beautiful from GIGACHADELAIDE. And there's got to be questions if Reem's Earth Spirit has to be banned out. I mean, you've been banning out a lot of the position 2 so far today, and Reem, he still gets his comfortable Earth Spirit, and he shows why he can play it to such prowess. And unfortunately, UAW, Billy, everyone struggled in this game on Dire. It's not just one person. Billy had an incredible game 1. They gave him back the priority on the Tidehunter in game 2, but he was heavily countered. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make much work occur against the bad matchup. So we'll see what can happen. You said previously that GIGACHADELAIDE, their last series versus UOW, they dropped game 1, but they were able to come back and take game 2 and game 3. Potentially, they can do the same thing here for the chip.
Certainly. Well, either way, it's going to be history repeating itself, folks, whether or not it's going to be UOW claiming themselves the 2021 Season 1 and Season 2 champion moniker, or if GIGACHADELAIDE are going to be able to do what they did last time when they came up against this team and reverse sweep them for the third game. You just have to, goodness me, you'll just have to wait and see right after this very short break. It looks like we're going to have a bit of a 10-minute break, and then the conclusion of this season's grand finals is going to be coming right at you right here on the AEL Uni League for Season 2, brought to you by Chatime Australia. And welcome back, folks, to the grand final of the AEL Uni League Season 2. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk by Aries, and we've just seen these two teams go 1-for-1, and this is going to be the Game 3 deciding it all. Who is going to walk away from this with the trophy? We're just going to have to wait and see. Aries, what are you expecting coming into this Game 3?
I mean, I'm expecting probably some of the same heroes we've been seeing so far. A lot of emphasis on banning out Ream's hero pool. Potentially the Lion once again for Psycho. We'll see if they look to make him a little bit more uncomfortable in the grand finals. Potentially if they go back for the Tide Hunter for Billy. It's been a bit of a meta starting to formulate between these two teams in the grand finals, and we'll see if that's going to be any different here for Game 3.
Certainly is going to be one to look out for. I mean, we have seen, again, Tide Hunter, very heavy priority here going into the start of the draft. I'm not sure who has first pick here, but if it is going to be that UOW lineup, I imagine that they're going to be playing around that first pick Tide. But GIGACHADELAIDE have proven themselves that they can beat it if they build a comp around countering it. So whether or not we see them go for that route, whether they try and counter it out, or if they look to just try and ban it out here, we'll have to wait and see. But it does look like UOW do have first pick once again. So GIGACHADELAIDE have to decide if they want to ban it, or if they're going to go for their tried and true bans that they've been going for so far, with the Tiny followed up by... I forget who they were banning second there. I know the Tiny was indeed first.
10 seconds remaining.
Being Tiny, Mars, Monkey, and... My lord, I don't remember the other hero. If they go for it again, I'll be like... There we go, I got it. They actually banned the Tide. Wow. I think Conker's been the other one.
They banned their own Tide. That's interesting.
They might Mars here. I think UOW been banning Mars. No, they take... I don't hate that. So they don't... I was thinking maybe they ban the Lion just because Psycho's been looking incredible on it. Everyone knows Psycho Lion, something to fear. So they're like, okay, we'll stick with our... Well, we'll not switch up the bans too much, and then we'll pick the Lion, which is pretty much a pseudo ban in itself.
Yeah, certainly going to take that away from Psycho, make him have to dabble a little bit deeper into his hero pool. We'll have to see if he's able to pull out something that is a winning formula heading into this final game. By the way, though, it looks like GIGACHADELAIDE really putting into reserve time already on only their first pick of the draft. Which direction do they want to take it? Do they want to take that flex pick Viper off the table like they did in that second game? Or do they take the Tide Hunter for themselves? Now, it's going to be the Dawnbreaker from Game 1, who was actually banned out in first phase in that second match. But the Dawn Mummy is going to be for GIGACHADELAIDE here in this Game 3 once again. And Ream did show some pretty positive performance on it in Game 1, but whether or not it's going to be taken into the middle lane again or put in more of a typical supporting position, I have to wait and find out.
Yeah, he did. He had a solid performance and then started to fall off a little bit here with the Dawnbreaker. Something we see a decent amount, honestly, on this hero when I see it as a core. So, bit concerned. I'm still yet to really be impressed by Dawnbreaker as a core. So, GIGACHADELAIDE, though, this is... and it always feels like a lot of the university teams really favor the Jakiro, and wouldn't be surprised, Psycho, very familiar with him being able to pick this one up as well.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, a lot of the international teams as well. Jakiro, definitely one of the most picked position 5s at the event. And for good reason, very strong in the laning phase, has, decent scalability into those team fights with the macro pyre, but Void Spirit's second pick here for UOW Esports, and interestingly enough, this was actually a pick that GIGACHADELAIDE were banning out in second phase of bans, and I think UOW Esports wanted to just pick it up here before it does get banned out there, but, if this is going to be a position 2 Void Spirit, they could have just given a bit too much away too early in their draft. What are your thoughts there, Aries?
I like the Void Spirit. I mean, you can protect it pretty heavily here with the second phase if you want to. I mean, GIGACHADELAIDE showed previously that the Dawnbreaker has transitioned to the position 2, so I imagine they're comfortable with the Void into the Dawnbreaker matchup if that's the case. And you've already shown with the first 2 picks that GIGACHADELAIDE really struggle with having an instant way to lock onto the Void Spirit, especially with the Lion taken care of, so they can't even go for that in the second phase as well. So, I'm a big fan of this pick, and it gives Gobala, I think Gobala is probably the player to look out for. He had a very, very strong Batrider performance in game 1 when he was able to find the targets with the lasso and be that playmaker. And now giving him the Void Spirit, I feel like he's going to fulfill the role they need for him as the dynamic he takes on for this team. So I like it here for UOW.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, certainly Weaver getting banned out here. I was looking at MBTW definitely had a great game on. I would say that was one of the strong parts of that game to UOW was the MBTW Weaver.
There's times and places for it, I think. Games when you've got a lot of instant lockdown makes it very difficult to play the Weaver. So just some respect, ban. But this could be a time considering everything we said about the Void Spirit correlates with the Weaver as well. So GIGACHADELAIDE have to identify this weakness they have at the moment and look for... Maybe they don't go for the position 4 here just because then it would make it very obvious on the Dawnbreaker being a core. But then if you don't do that, I don't mind because 18th and 24th pick often they're the big power picks right before the banning phase and the answer picks where cores can really get favorable matchups. So actually I wouldn't hate them just revealing the Dawnbreaker and going for someone that can offer lockdown versus the Void.
Certainly not. I mean, that is probably going to be the target of this final ban phase. I mean, we did see them take out the Batrider and probably will continue that trend of taking out those picks that can give Void Spirit a bit of a hard time. But either way, GIGACHADELAIDE really are just kind of reaching into their reserve time here for sure. Have to wait and see what they decide on, whether it is going to be that position 3, like you said, or, show their 4. And it does look like it's going to be their position 3. Nightstalker locked in here, one of Unleashed's favorite heroes, as we've seen over the course of this season. GIGACHADELAIDE were one of the earlier teams to adopt the Nightstalker before, every team in the AEL Uni season started to make this a real favorite pick of theirs, and certainly Unleashed, one of the best at it, for sure.
Remaining.
Okay, well, it does give them it's a great hero versus the Lion and the Void Spirit. Anyone that can also enable your vision will just make it that much easier, but back into the Bloodseeker. I mean, we saw this in game 1. Unleashed picking up the Nightstalker, then answered by the Bloodseeker on Mark, and it's another incredible game. I wonder if Batrider's banned out, so they can't go for that, but they'll go for the ET. So this is scary. I'm a huge fan of UOW's draft, and GIGACHADELAIDE with this 18th pick have to kind of give me some oomph here. Otherwise, I think heading into the last phase, I'd be favoring UOW.
Yeah, and there's flex here as well, right? Bloodseeker can go a 3, it can go a 1. Their last pick here, a little bit up in the air, not exactly too sure where things are going to be locked in stone for this UOW lineup, which means GIGACHADELAIDE kind of have to do a guessing game in the course of this ban phase on where they want to target their bans, on where they're kind of more afraid of this Bloodseeker going. But definitely, there's not really the same sort of combo that we saw in game 1 for the Bloodseeker with Batrider banned out. You're not going to see the rupture into Lasso obliterating one of the cores of GIGACHADELAIDE, which was a massive, massive thorn in their side in game 1. But certainly MBTW showed a great performance on this hero, and whether or not he's going to have another great one, we'll have to remain and see. But Ovis, going to be rocking the Spectre this game, a hero that we saw a lot of presence on TI with that Aghanim Scepter Rush build. What are your thoughts seeing it in this draft?
10 seconds remaining.
I think it might be... we'll see. It's a decent hero versus the Lion. Any squishy ranged hero that relies on surveying the fight and then getting the jump is not the greatest for Spectre because he can just control the team fight early on with vision and stop the blink thanks to the Haunt. But Lion can kind of counterplay that because he does have ways to instantly kill the illusion with the Hex or the Mana Drain, so he's got to be pretty quick on the fingers. GIGACHADELAIDE have incredible advantage in vision with Haunt, with Nightstalker, Nighttime, and Dark Ascension, so it's going to make it difficult. UOW have to pick and choose their fights. That will not be easy at all, so this is going to come down to, I think, a support performance, really, for Devi and also Kid, on how they can kind of gain the team some intelligence. But heading into the last phase, I believe we're looking for a position 3 here for UOW, something Billy can play. Potentially you can flex the ET. I don't think they're going to go down that route though. And for GIGACHADELAIDE, they're looking for either their Andros or their Ream hero.
Yes, certainly position 2s or potentially position 4s on the side of GIGACHADELAIDE. And again, UOW Esports can flex this Bloodseeker between the 1 and the 3. We've seen it played professionally in both roles quite a lot. So it just depends on what they want to look for here in the draft. But yeah, definitely a bit of a switch up here, a bit of a wild card in both drafts, which is always exciting. And it does look like they are predicting the Dawnbreaker to be in the position 4 role. So they're going to take away Rimnizzle's Shadow Demon and his Ember Spirit. And it looks like on the other side, they're going to be thinking the exact same, taking out the prevalent position 3s that could still be on the board, such as the Magnus, such as the Viper, which is a little bit interesting.
These are some really, really cool bands. The Viper to identify the Spectre issue with the break and also being able to play against him in the lane. And the Magnus as well has a way to combine with the Rupture to be able to get a lot of the bleed damage, some big team fight AoE, which they're lacking, and maybe also to enable the Void Spirit and Bloodseeker to get an extra item, maybe a couple minutes faster than they were expecting. We've seen what a mag can do at TI as well. And for GIGACHADELAIDE, I mean, they took away the Shadow Demon and the Ember. So that means the Ream won't have that available. I was thinking they'd either go Ember or Storm and flex the Dawnbreaker because there's not a lot of lockdown on UOW, and that's a very, very good matchup versus the Void Spirit. So we'll see if this offlaner kind of makes them shy away from that route. They do go into the Death Prophet, so some flexibility here from UOW. You can put the Death Prophet as a 3 or a 2. Regardless, though, that is a really, really good matchup. They lack ways to take objectives. Now with the Exorcism, they provide that. Some percent damage with the Spirit Siphon and just a little bit extra control as well with the Silence.
Yeah, certainly. So you think this is going to be a Death Prophet 2 or...
I think 3. I think you give Gubala the Void Spirit.
Okay.
You can flex it, though. Like, you can flex it. It leaves everything open. I want to see Gubala more on a hero to make plays. Like, Death Prophet is... It doesn't seem to suit his play style. But again, it gives them a lot of opportunities here for GIGACHADELAIDE. Does it stop them from going something like a Storm Spirit? Let's see. They're going to Earthshaker, not the route I was thinking. Is this an Andros? No, it's a... Ooh.
So this is something that I'm quite fond of, right? So this is going to be a Gubala Void Spirit, as you said, and one of the big counters to these melee Ember and Void Spirit position 2s at TI was actually taking the Earth Spirit, the Earth Shaker mid, and this is actually something that Rimnizzle didn't really know about. I actually was the one that brought it to his attention. I said, hey, like, have you seen all the people picking Earth Shaker 2 at TI? What are your thoughts there? And he's like, I didn't actually know they were doing that, and he went and had a look at the games, and you know, it was a counterpick into these melees. You basically max the enchant totem, and then every single time that this Void Spirit wants to walk up and hit a creep, you just kind of enchant totem, slam the ground, and smack him in the head. And it's really annoying to play against. So I'm excited to see him actually picking this one up in this final game. This is going to be quite cool to see. And obviously, you know, a game with Earth Shaker is always an exciting one to watch, folks.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Luckily, we're not seeing a Morphling Earthshaker in our last game for the Grand Finals, but nonetheless, we've got the draft, you know, completely done, and now the game 3 underway. And what a beautiful game where we're gonna have here, going the distance. You know, potentially UOW reigning champions, or maybe they'll both be able to share the chip here for 2021. Earthshaker, like you were saying, the position 2 against melee heroes. I want to see how Void Spirit can play this matchup. He's a hero that does relatively well versus some physical damage just because he gets some absorption in the Resonant Pulse, so maybe that can be a little bit different. And it can get to a stage where Gubala could just honestly go like a 0-2-2 build, I should say, and just look to literally spam out the lane and not even play into the Earthshaker. So, could go down that route if he wants to.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we're just going to hop right into game here. And it could go either way. We'll have to wait and see, but
seconds to battle.
Definitely is going to be UOW here looking to invade into this high grounds. And they're not going to find anyone, but nice early observer ward here in a great spot.
Another thing to mention is that they've swapped up the lanes, or at least the roles a little bit. It's an Elder Titan position 4, and it's going to be the Lion as the 5 here. So A Kid was wanted is his shout out. I was saying it's a little bit difficult when you're playing an Ogre Magi. I mean, crazy blood loss potentially, but now with the Lion, we saw what Psycho could do on a position 5, and it's kind of nice. Like, I'd often favor Lion 4, ET 5, but now because you have the Bloodseeker, you want a stun to be able to set up with the Blood Right.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. The Elder Titan being able to combo the Sleep into the Blood Right is definitely a very, very nasty combo, but actually, never mind. They're going to be going on the opposite ends of the map. It is going to be Davai Lama rocking the 4 here, which is weird.
Yeah, I think that's easier that way. No, it's easier that way, I think. The Earth Spike's more guaranteed, and now you can just, maybe the ET, a little bit better of a laning stage hero. Like, you want to pair melee with range and range with melee, and you know, the Bloodseeker with the Lion. Now you got the ET that can really just body the Spectre.
We've got Earth Spikes being guaranteed. That's going to be the first one of the game missed from Kid. We has to be changing those up, landing those. But we head into the laning phase here. We'll start off with the mid lane here. We do see Earthshaker into Void Spirit. And I mean, again, this is a matchup that can get quite oppressive for the Void Spirit if he is a little bit uncaring with walking up into those enchant totems. But doing alright so far of bullying Reem, and boom, look at the damage there.
I wonder if Gobal is going to go for an early stick. I was thinking he might start the lane, considering the Earthshaker is someone who completely spams abilities. And he's already gone for a point in the Aether Remnant as well. So not the 0-2-2 like I was thinking, to just really avoid Reem. And he's already showing how difficult of a matchup this is going to be at the early levels.
Yeah, so you basically go 0 points in the Fissure and just max out this totem with the Slam and just be very, very annoying, spamming it every time he walks up. And again, you can see just how scary that is. Level 3 for Gubala, though, is going to have the double points in the Resonant Pulse there to make it a little bit easier for himself. But, meanwhile, we're talking about these side lanes here. Clovis, Noopson, Spectre, very much so a late-game hero, playing into the ET and the Death Prophet. Well, as Psycho on the Jakiro.
Yeah, we'll see how much CS Clovis is going to get in this lane. It's not an easy lane at all. DP incredible against these beefy melee heroes. Again, the percent damage is only 1% at the level 1, but you know, they're doing a really good job from Divide to not soak experience, and he's just having, we got 2 1v1s at the moment on top, and that's exactly what we want. Might kill Psycho.
Yeah, Psycho has to watch out. These right clicks from Davai Lama with the Spirit really hurt. Clovis Noopson's actually getting creep blocked. Oh no! He pops the Spectral Dagger to try and get away in the trees, but unfortunately is going to find himself getting taken down. And now Psycho, stuck between a rock and a hard place, is going to find himself getting taken down by Billy the Brawler as well for a double kill over to UOW to kick off this game 3.
Already a better game here for Billy. You'll love to see it. Also, a lot of creeps being missed as well for the Spectre. There was a full wave under the tower. He's not going to get the CS as well from that melee. So yeah, Spectre, 9 last hits early on. And that death, not what you want to see.
Yeah, and he is going to be going for that Falcon Blade into the Aghanims likely, which is the build that we've seen at TI time and time again. Falcon Blade, Aghanims, maybe you pick up Treads before the Ags if you are in, you know, very difficult lane, which he is right here. So probably something that we'll see him do. But once you do get that Ags online, you were just an absolute menace, able to jump around the map and join these fights very belligerently. And, you know, it's definitely a bit of a different playstyle to the Spectre that we saw for many, many years, where he kind of just AFK and do his own thing and only really interact when Haunt was off cooldown and trying to farm up for that Radiance. And, you know, Spectre has definitely evolved into very much so a active ganking sort of position 1.
We'll see this bottom lane, how this one's faring as well with Mark and Kid. Looks like it's another lane that surprisingly Unleashed is having a very solid first 5 minutes. We brought it up in game 1, but the Night Stalker not the strongest at the early timing before that nighttime. So he's getting a lot out of it. TP's up top though, Billy.
Looking to get aggressive here. Billy the Brawler, unfortunately, Death Prophet, kind of infamously squishy in the early game. Does tank up once she gets a couple items under her belt, but for now, going to be a nice, quick, and easy gank pickup for the side of GIGACHADELAIDE. Reducing that gold lead just a little bit. And I believe that kill went the way of Hugh, which is certainly something that is going to be great. Getting kills on your Spectre, always something to look out for. But 10 seconds here, Ares, until the funny. Unleash does have 2 points available in that Hunter in the Night. We'll see if he's able to make anything of it. Here he goes. 5 minutes has hit.
See as well how this mid lane's faring for Reem.
Is under attack.
Already now ultimate leveled up. Gubala honestly has been getting a decent amount in regard to last hits, considering Earthshaker is one of the few heroes still that has a way to amplify his damage in regards to denying. We saw there was many heroes previously, I think even top lane actually devising trouble.
To get taken down. Billy the Brawler now in a 1v2 situation. Dual Breath comes out from Psycho. Try and get himself a little bit of distance. In comes Gubala though, trying to look for Clovis Noobson. The taunt, not available. Not even going to need it though, as he's just going to chase him down with the ultimate charges. And it's going to be a very dead Spectre, unfortunately. Looking at the scoreboard here. 2-2-0 on this Spectre. Got the most kills on the team, but also the most deaths. But the fight is still breaking out. In comes Andros and Reem. Echo Slam available on this Earth Spirit. I mean, on this Earth Shaker, I should say. Reem Nizzle definitely pulling out all the heroes with Earth in their name this series.
That was a beautiful play as well. The TP in refills a bottle. I thought Gubala was going to have to go back to base, but now he's had 5 bottle charges after the bounty picked up, so back to lane he goes. Great rotation. Void Spirit's got a lot more mobility to play with top lane. Action still breaking out with Billy and Devi.
Yeah, Clovis just having to play very, very safe indeed. And Psycho, low on mana, but I mean, this is one thing about Jakiro, right? Dual Breath at that level 3 when you have 2 points, and it's such a strong early game ability. Not only does it give you that slow, so you can usually kite with those auto attacks, but also just does an incredible amount of burn damage. He's just going to look for the pull here as well, try and grab himself that small camp farm.
I really want to see Gubala go back to base, regen, and then TP up top. It's too late now. Actually, Billy's going to glyph the creep wave. They want to keep the catapult alive.
Yeah, but in comes Reem with that TP. He does not have Fisher. Actually, he does have 1 point, and he's going to make use of it. Slamming it down. Bit of a miscommunication, though, as they double stack Ice Path and Fisher there. And that
keep the Exo on the tower.
miscommunication might, unfortunately, be enough to let Devi Lama get out to safety.
Well, they keep him alive, bottom lane. They're on top of Kid, but nice 2-man Earth Spike unleashed here. Also popped the Dark Ascension for that, so the couple ultimates wasted. Death Prophet may have been able to find the tower. In fact, he's still going to try and chase down Psycho here with the last remaining duration of that Exo, so nice kill for Billy the Brawler.
Certainly good pickup there. But this is going to be a very different game from that game 1, though. We do see, you know, Andros on this Dawnbreaker instead of Reem, and the lack of XP that he's going to be getting on this position 4 in comparison to Reem Nizzle. You know, that Dawnbreaker in game 1 was kind of defined by the Solar Guardian plays around the map at a very, very early timing, thanks to that Solar Gold in the middle lane. Andros, in comparison, you know, 8 minutes in, only level 3, still quite a while away from having that ultimate available to join some of these fights around the map.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lane to be able to get some catch up in. They do have really, really strong global potential as the game goes on. With the Spectre Haunt, with the Solar Guardian. I'm a huge fan of the Dawnbreaker 4, where you go into like a earn into like Holy Locket, for example. You have so much healing with the ulti and how you can play across the map, but they're gonna look to try and dive down bottom. Psycho's set up at the moment.
Yeah, Haunt is popped. They're looking to try and collapse onto MBTW here. TP's coming through. Will they come through in time, though? Blood Rider's going to pop onto all 3. Massive knock-up, though, into the AoE. Gubala is just shredding through their health bars. MBTW healing up with the Blood Ride. And that is going to be Psycho getting caught up with the Taunt. Gubala finding another one. And what a play from UOW to turn that one around.
My man, what a rotation. They all group up. Gubala goes crazy. All the damage to that fight. 1900, 2 times anyone else. Let's try and set up on Reem. Bit more of a difficult kill. They're going to be careful if they group up for an Echo Slam. Still yet to see it here from the Earthshaker, but give it a little bit of time. Spectre back up the top. He's getting no farm.
Yeah, we do look at the last hits. He's below even his position 3 right now. Net worth struggling. Bottom of the cores on his team. And you know, that's certainly not what you want to see when you are playing this Spectre pick. He didn't go for the treads, actually. Decided to go for the phase boots. Decided he needs that little bit of extra armor, which makes sense. You know, you are playing against this Billy the Brawler. You want to have that resistance against the Exorcism physical damage. Makes a little bit of sense there. But, you know, it is just going to delay this Aghanim Scepter for him, and that is what you're ultimately looking for on this Spectre pick.
Yeah, it's going to take quite some time for him to come online. Like, this is my issue with the hero going this regard, or Gubala. Might just solo kill Psycho.
Certainly will, and pops the Invis rune as well to get out scot-free. Might actually look to re-engage here onto Hugh. Has to be careful. No ultimate charges available, but he does have Kid coming in here to try and pick him up. The taunt connects into the Earth Spike. Finger of Death not available on Kid, but he does have the Hex to buy some time. Gubala still chasing him down with these abilities. Spectral Dagger used to try and cut him through the trees. Billy the Brawler looking to try and join the fight. Gubala pops the ultimate charge, the Urn as well. The wand is there though from Hugh. He's still tracing this one out. Psycho trying to pop the Ice Path to buy a little bit of time, and Billy the Brawler with the Crypt Swarm. We're going to finish him off there.
Nice connection from Billy along with Kid. Looking to combine there with Gubala, who's having an exceptional game 3. The Gyro was a little bit lacking in his regarding game 2, but he's already hit back so incredibly well. And this was in a tough matchup too against the Earthshaker.
Yeah, I do believe the game 1 in the last time these two teams met, where it was actually UOW winning, I think Gubala was rocking the Void Spirit that was able to win them the victory. So that might be something that actually does happen yet again. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, you know, this Void Spirit is looking insane. 3-0 and 4, 6-1 and 2 on Billy the Brawler. Obviously, arguably MVP of all position 3s in this entire tournament so far. He's just put on a display in not only this series, but all of the games that UOW have played. But right now, GIGACHADELAIDE may be forming around this tier 1 to try and get a bit of a defense.
Small things, but Gubala just tanking up the tower to keep the catapult alive will enable them to find the tier 1. And this will now start to open up the map even more for Radiant. You can now just infiltrate through and slowly suck out any net worth potential for Dire to get the catch up. I mean, unfortunately, I'm just watching Clovis up top trying to CS and is missing a couple, and when you're this far behind, you really got to get as many as you can, and unfortunate because you still, it's got to be mentioned, I mean, Mark has not even been farming too well. I mean, he's fourth in net worth. It feels like he's been free farming, but you know, everyone else is just, I guess, doing that much better. But once he gets Maelstrom, his farm's going to skyrocket.
He's actually quite poor here on Hugh, which is reflected in the fact that he's trying to queue up this Echo Saber after the Aghanims. He thinks that, you know, he might not have enough time to go for Aghanims into Manta style, which is maybe a little more typical. Needs the cheaper Echo Saber to get him into fighting shape that extra bit faster.
I believe that's an Orchid he's got queued up.
An Orchid as well. Yes.
Billy?
Oblivion Staff. The Brawler doesn't have to watch out though.
Exo.
He's gonna pop the Exorcism. Looking to chase down Psycho and Clovis here. Dual Breath to try and buy a little bit of space, but Gubala, we saw the mobility on this Void Spirit, and the Stomp is there to cut him off as well. He's forced to walk into this Exorcism, and look at the damage. Gubala dominating right now on this Void Spirit, 4-0 and 5. Putting him in an absolute clinic. Third on the net worth. Only Reem Nizzle sitting high in this game. But I mean, if there was ever a hero to bring back a game of Dota 2, it is this Earthshaker.
No.
Meanwhile, though, Clovis
Nice play.
getting caught out again.
Oh, they are feeling themselves supports, clapping each other's hands as well, combining up with the tips against Clovis. And they're going to look to try and take the tier 2 tower top as well. They'll need another creep wave coming in shortly, but now this will open up the outposts, and this is the timing they are looking for though. The blink on Reem. They're going to smoke before the night time, so they feel the tempo starting to get out of control. Who are they going to bring down with this Echo though?
Yeah, they're going to look to try and go onto Gubala here. Blink into Echo, look for the Fisher, and that is going to be a quick and easy kill. Shut down onto Gubala. They might look for more. Kid and Davai Lama trying to run away with MPTW. They're going to run into Unleash though. Pops the Hex to try and buy himself a little bit of space. Flood Ride as well to cut off the retreat. And now Kid trying to look for the TP out, but that's not going to happen. The Ice Path to cut him off. Nice little pick up there onto
Received
the
a buy.
Lions.
Radiant's
Goodbye
turret
as well.
has been killed.
Might be the third pick up here. And that is just going to be all she wrote for this Elder Titan.
Beatty. Nice. Brought down now. Reem. Make sure he'll cut off the head of the ET. They're even going to look to TP in though, Radiant. Feels strong with Gabala's haste.
And Gabala is just going to go in here looking to blow up Psycho. Look at the damage on this Void Spirit. Absolute monstrosity, and Reem maybe looking to be next, but no, he gets a great little blink out there. Gubala might actually look for more. No, he is just going to back off and clear this creep wave.
Okay. Well, that was the timing we're looking for. Surprisingly, Dire, I mean, they're not even behind in regards to net worth. The kill count's not looking good at all, but Reem is so incredibly farmed on the Earthshaker. The question is this going to convert into a solid mid-game timing for them? They are giving some space to the Spectre, who is going to go for... Yeah, he's going to go for the Echo Saber, it looks like here, before the ends.
Oh my goodness, look at the damage on this Earthshaker, though. Smacks him with that totem right in the jaw, and that is going to be Reem Nizzle picking up another kill, further securing his spot as #1 net worth. But that's actually going to be Solar Crest completed on Andros here. Do you think that might be a bit of a difference maker in these fights?
I mean, we'll see how much the extra armor is going to come into effect. They don't really need the attack speed at the moment, so we'll see. I guess it helps them potentially take Roshan as well.
Find Billy the Brawler there with that Ice Path. Psycho does have to watch out. He's kind of feeding a little bit, as we see here on this Kiro, 0-6 and 4.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Again, we are just looking at this Spectre here. Finally hits level 10, grabbing that Spectral Dagger cooldown. He is just trying to farm for this Aghanim Scepter. Grab himself the
Reem's
Overclock.
invis.
My goodness, they're going to go in onto Kubala. He is just going to get melted down here. There's nothing he can do. The silence from Nightstalker, it's too much. But look at the ET ultimate. It is going to do so much. In comes Andros, trying to do his best to CC the rest of his team. And BTW might get taken down by the Jakiro, and yes, indeed, he will. Does have to watch out. He's getting smacked down by Davai Lama. Talked about the right-click damage that this ET is able to pump out, but unfortunately, Kid is going to die to the liquid fire damage over time.
Alright, so Psycho not playing the Lion, but my guy's still able to pick up a triple kill on the Jakiro. And all in all, a little bit more time for Clovis. So he combines to the team fight with the Horn. And now he's back out to farming. Reem's still got the Echo Slam as well that he might look to drop mid.
Certainly will. He does have that Echo Slam. He's going to drop it onto Billy the Brawler. They're going to try and keep the CC down onto him. And there we go. We talked about that beautiful Crimson Guard onto Andros. Solid Solar Crest, I should say. Here comes Gabula, who is, as we mentioned, the big Fed guy on this UOW lineup. They have to be very scared of him. MBTW also having that Rupture available. Might pop it onto Unleashed here. And he will indeed just pop it onto Unleashed. Pop the Blood Right and try and run away the best he can.
Well, Dire have done an exceptional job to somehow have a net worth lead in this game. I mean, it's... With how we've been seeing the map, it feels like a lot of the fights have been on Dire's side. But the fact that they have the net worth lead 6 kills behind is really, really impressive with what they're getting out. And they might even kill off Mark down bot. Oh boy, this game is back to playable Dire. What a position they're in.
Yeah, certainly a nice little pickup there for the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup. Unleashed and Reem with some great teamwork. And I mean, we mentioned, the net worth chart here. Reem is just still very handedly in first place.
I like this though. Got the Exode, level 2. Try and make this play into Roshan. It's not going to be easy to take. I mean, if Dire come, this is disastrous for Radiant.
I don't think they know though. Pepe laughed, they don't know.
I mean, Man, no one's showing on any of the lanes. They've got very good vision as well. Like, you'd have to... They'd be like, okay, I understand. Like, as soon as that happened, they would have been saying, without seeing someone for like 15 seconds, like, okay, something's going on. But now with Roche being claimed, gives them some confirmation of the positioning on the map. They give Gubala the ages as well. Still, we saw there was a huge BKB timing in game 1. It's going to be the same here in game 3 here for Radiant. Bloodseeker very much relies on this Gubala. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter, so if they can kind of combine these items at the same timing, then that's going to be huge for Radiant. For Dire, though, still looking for the time. Clovis, Echo Saber is completed, so this is going to give him that kind of utility item to keep up the farm. For Unleashed, he's almost got the BKB completed as well, just needs the recipe.
Yeah, time will tell. Who do you see, Psycho? Nearly getting that 4-staff completed, which would be quite nice at kiting out all of the aggressive, divey sort of stuns that are in play from the Radiant side.
My question is on how Reem tries to scale this game on the Earthshaker. He hasn't queued up the Aghanims. Maybe it's going to be after the BKB. They did just bait out Rupture, so we'll see if they want to try and make a jump mid. They've got very good vision once again around the area. I don't think they're too worried about Aegis. Like, the only way they take Aegis is with Exorcism being committed. So yeah, they're going to look to smoke up and make a play.
Yeah, definitely the Aghanims is very good against those backline heavy compositions, which... not something that he's playing against right now, so a little bit comfortable delaying it. Probably something he'll pick up eventually. Here we go. Dark Deception is popped, and oh my goodness, kid! What happened to this poor soul? Absolutely deleted. They might look for more here as Davai Lama going to get spotted out by the vision provided from this Nightstalker ultimate. Chasing him down here. The slow is applied over the wall with the 4-staff into the ice path, and that is going to be a very dead ET once again.
I mean, they're just...
I know how to handle such
We're not... we're seeing what happens when Dark Ascensions pop. You get full vision of the fight. You can do whatever you want. You can target whoever you want. You can position however you want. And Radiant... I was saying that this has to be a game where they have Observer Ward advantage across the map, and they don't. Dire have 6 wards up at the moment. Combine that with nighttime advantage and Haunt potentially... It's... I mean, this is not what you're looking to see at the moment if you're Radiant. They're getting nothing out of this Aegis, and keep in mind, I feel like they are the ones that do not want to go into the later stage.
Yeah, certainly not. And I mean, I do like this Aghanims being queued up here by Andros, actually. I mean, Dawnbreaker Aghanims, I feel like, quite underrated, and the evasion is going to be particularly quite good against, you know, this ET... Bloodseeker, Void Spirit sort of lane that they're playing against, or comp that they're playing against, I should say.
Yeah, I like it a lot when you go Holy Locket. So I wonder if it goes for Holy Locket Arthur. It's a crap load of healing. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of healing. So we'll see how Andros wants to itemize here as the game goes on. I think, speaking a little bit more on the Dark Ascension, Radiant, they have to group up with this. You cannot be... Nightstalker makes the way you play team fights very different on how traditionally you'd like to on support heroes and cores and just how you set up a formation. So I wonder if Radiant, if when Exorcisms popped and they use Dark Ascension, I think you have to really group up with the DP and use the EXO as some area denial. We see that often with like tombstones and arenas, and I think you have to do the same thing here with EXO.
Yeah, certainly. Well, it was Echo Saber, queued up by Clovis Noopson.
Oh, Reem under the tower, he's in trouble, tier 2 mid.
Does get hexed up here, and it looks like in comes Gubala. Solar Guardian, though, is going to be the response. Big Earth Split popped here, but in comes the Dark Ascension Unleashed, looking to try and go on Billy the Brawler very aggressively, as well as this Elder Titan. Ice Path is going to connect onto ET in the backside, but they're not even going to care. Billy the Brawler going to be target numero uno. He's caught up in the Yules, but big damage. In comes MBTW though. Bloodright is there. Unleashed hiding around this fight. Big Ice Path connects onto 3 right in the middle of the macro pyre. Psycho showing himself to be one of the best supports in this tournament once again. What a player, what a team, and that is going to be GIGACHADELAIDE coming up huge with 5 kills for none.
And meanwhile, look at the tips coming through, the respect too, but meanwhile, underneath the tier 2 tower, Gabala and Reem were still battling it out there. There was an Echo solely dropped there from Reem to bring down the Aegis advantage. That completely took away Gabala from the fight. Who knows how different that could have been with the spell casting used on other heroes but the Earthshaker. And just now, a 4,000 net worth lead, driver's seat here for Dire, and late game position. You know, I mean, we are at the mid game now, but they're at a spot where they can feel comfortable that we should get to the late game.
Yeah, Psycho absolutely massive here. We look at the build, very essential here. Just an absolute mango farmer. It is mango season after all. Would only be right.
It's just, I mean, now more items continuing to be funneled in too. Oh, Reem's going into the Crystallis, so that's how it's going to look to scale. There's even a DD down bot as well. I was not sure if he was going to go Aghanim's next item, but he wants the DPS.
Yeah, I mean, like normally it's sort of one of those things, especially with these position 2 Earthshakers, where you either go the first item Ags or the first item Blink, sort of depending on you know, what sort of composition, and obviously the Aghanim's much heavier favor in terms of first item rush when you are playing with that Morphling. Just because Morphling getting that Aghanim's on the W makes him a lot more scary in those team fights, but
Gabala?
Actually getting caught out here by the macro pyre, tries to TP away, but definitely no way that that's happening there with all the CC available in the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup. Big tips coming through, and they might actually find another one here. ET narrowly dodging out of the Ice Path, trying to run away the best he can. Fake grenade just for a bit of bad manners, but Unleash is looking for more. Pops the ultimate here, indeed. Kid trying to blink away. We'll see if he's going to go the full distance. BKB popped onto MBTW. They have the Hex to try and buy some distance. Rupture is there. Solar Guardian coming through, though. They're looking to collapse onto this, though. Reemnizzle going forward, blows up Kid. He did commit the Echo Slam for that, though. He's not going to have it here. Billy the Brawler as well, just going to get deleted, and it looks like GIGACHADELAIDE so unstoppable right here in this fight. And that is going to be Orchid completed, as well as Aghanims on this Spectre, and suddenly the position 1 of GIGACHADELAIDE that we almost counted out of this game is suddenly in a position where he is a threat.
My lord. I mean, this game is now... it's an 87% probability here from Dire. I probably bumped that up a little bit as well. I feel like that's giving them too much respect here. I mean, we'll see how they can come into the late game, but they got some big issues right now on Radiant. It's struggling. We haven't really seen them take one good team fight throughout the mid game, and that's supposed to be their prime position at the moment, and it's going to continue to get more and more difficult with the vision advantage that can just enable the team fighting. So, I mean, this is going to be off the back of next Roshan. They might even look to smoke, though, however Radiant, they are grouped up.
Yeah, I do quite like the Silver Edge going on Reem, as Natural Order is kind of silly as far as passives go. Probably one of the best team fighting passives in the game, but Reem does have to watch out here. He's going to get blink hexed by Kid. They're going to look for the full collapse. Solar Guardian comes through to try and buy himself a little bit of space. Look at the healing. That's the Aghanims on Andros at work, but it's unfortunately not going to be enough. He's going to go down. The rest of GIGACHADELAIDE are here, though. The macro pie is dropped. It's going to melt down Davai Lama. He's going to be the first target to fall. Andros getting deleted by the Exorcism in the backline. Billy the Brawler still alive, just hiding around this fight. And he's still alive, actually. Ice Path coming through. They might try and turn around onto Billy and get a little bit of damage out, but no, indeed. The Yule's going to be popped, get himself out of there in a little bit of space, and that's actually going to be UOW coming out ahead in a fight, which is exactly what they needed at this stage of the game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bringing down the Earthshaker to start the fight. Yeah, like you said, exactly what you need. That's a big victory. I mean, that's how much do they get out of that? So even though it's a 2-for-2 bottom lane, fine. Oh, he just died Poor guy. Orchid will tick him out, and instantly across the map he goes thanks to the Shadow Step, and just pick-offs galore. Clovis too fast with the fingers before the Hex or the Mana Drain, and still issues continuing to mount.
Yeah, Spectre's ability once he gets this Aghanim is just to... You know, in these like mid to late game encounters, like very key thing of Dota is just kind of sending those supports down to clear those side waves. But Spectre with the Aghanims kind of like just makes it so you can't do that, and they're actually going to find ET as well. Again, we see the Haunt coming through, or the Shadow Step, I should say. The mini Haunt, as it was dubbed at TI.
And now Roche is up too, and Radiant with, I mean, out the ET, can probably buy back. I think if they lose this Roche, the game might be over. I think you have to contest it. ET should buy back.
Have to wait and see. Either way, Billy the Brawler going to walk forward here. No exorcism available for 30 seconds. Reem can't quite say the same. He does have that Echo Slam ready to fire at a moment's notice, but are they going to continue this Roshan or decide to back off it?
Reem's got... Oh, they see Reem. Doesn't matter.
Oh my god, Spectre. So scary. He's just making Psycho. Sorry, not Psycho, but meanwhile, Billy the Brawler, unfortunately, in a bad spot, and BTW is going to get a big silence here onto 3 members, but it's not going to save Billy. In goes Gubala. It does have a haster and trying to dive the backline, but acknowledges it's probably not in his best interest. Big Echo Slam connects onto 2. Soul Guardian coming through. Reem diving that backline, blowing them up. Meanwhile, though, MBTW is able to find himself unleashed on the backside. And look at Hugh, he is just so unkillable. Monster kill streak right now. He does find himself being chased down by 3 members. No rupture available on MBTW to try and get a little bit of extra distance between him and this Spectre. Kiting through the macro pyre. In comes Gubala though, looking to try and connect onto Clovis. Great Ice Path though, is going to get his position 1 out to safety. Well done. Psycho, yet again playing these fights great, but Bloodright maybe going to catch him. No, 4 stuff over the wall, and that is going to be Psycho disengaging, and now UOW finding themselves in a position to take this Roshan. Oh, will he? Clovis looking to go aggressive here. Gets caught up by the Void Remnant, and he's going to get taken down. That is a little bit too greedy, I'm afraid. And that is definitely going to be a Roshan for UOW now.
Who didn't tip him? Where's the all 5 tips? They disrespected Gubala earlier. You gotta give some men some props here. A haul like that, what is going on? What a buyback as well from Billy. The recognition. You cannot give this Roche shot for free. To buy back there from the Death Prophet, to get back involved in the team fight is huge. Now you've got second Roche, Aghanim shot on Mark. This is a great way to be able to go through the Urshake, who's pretty tanky. 2600 health. The Spectre as well with 2800 health. I mean, we also may as well just keep highlighting Andros as well with the Dawnbreaker being a strength hero is very, very difficult to kill off as well. So this percent damage, thanks to the Aghanim shot, is going to be very important here from Mark.
Yeah, definitely, and Andros, level 20 now. He's going to have access to that extra row of talents. See what he opts to go for. It's going to be the Solar Guardian Radius. Makes sense, kind of a hard team composition to get those right clicks on if you are the Dawnbreaker. To get the Luminosity procs. Probably the better option here against this team. But either way, obviously the Solar Guardian Radius having great combo with the Aghanims that he has opted to go for here.
And look how much farm he gets just off this Celestial Hammer. I mean, you have a talent, yeah, that increases the slow, but it's not the damage, and Andros can just shove out lanes so easily. And I mean, DP was having an exceptional game. I think it was like 7-1 at some stage, but now 9, 5, and 6. That buyback as well is literally just put him in the grave. Up by the triangle.
Might have caught out an unfortunate Psycho. Getting a little bit too psycho with his positioning, you could say. Meanwhile, we're going to pop the Exorcism in the mid lane, grab down this tier 2. And Ares, you think they'll look for more here?
I think he got it with Exo popped.
Reemnez going to pop the Shadow Blade though. Echo Slam available. And the respect is being given by UOW. They're not all grouping up for this high ground. In comes Reem Nizzle, looking to grab a little bit of damage.
Radiant's bottom
Does a
tower
great job of
is
just
under
backing
attack.
out though to safety.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bala does have that double damage rune available. He's going to get caught up in the fissure here. He can't quite get out to safety. Just going to have to wait that one out. Andros and Reem, the only two in the middle lane right now. In goes Gubala, pops the double silence. In goes Unleashed, and Clovis, though, looking to try and go for MPTW. He's going to go down. Yes, indeed. Does have that Aegis, though, that we talked about. Davai Lama. Oh, no, the Aegis is actually on Gubala. They don't have it on MPTW. That's just a pick-off on their Bloodseeker. They're both going to go wide on Billy the Brawler. He's just going to try and run it down the mid lane to get away here. Meanwhile, Gubala... Agent Bond, MI6, hiding in the base right now. Does have that TP scroll available to get himself out. Is going to go for the top lane. But this is now GIGACHADELAIDE looking to run it down and claim themselves the mid-tier 2 for themselves.
Okay, well, Unleashed just won them that fight. My guy just got a 3-man silence after Void... Oh, Gubala's okay.
Radiant's middle tower.
Man,
is under
what
attack.
a silence, though, for the Night Stalker. As soon as Radiant jumped onto the tier 4 towers, Night Stalker instantly answered, jumping the back line. A 3-man silence to stop the burst. That could have been reamed down with the Finger of Death, but that was not the case. What a huge answer from the 3.
Yeah, Gubala's going to go aggressive here. Reem popping the BKB and the Echo Slam. They're going to melt down Gubala here. That is going to be a Aegis popped with very little counterplay. Billy the Brawler is in the middle of this fight. No exorcism available, though. Gubala might try to chase him down, connects the taunt onto Andros, looking for more damage. But you mentioned it, this Dawnbreaker is so hard to bring down, but he ends up doing it. Finger of Death as well, committed onto Reem. That's going to be a second pickup here for UOW Esports. And they find themselves 2 key targets with MBTW coming up in only 7 seconds. And this could be a big window. No buyback on Andros for a full minute. They do have a 4v5. 3v5 if Reem Nizzle doesn't commit the buyback. This could be big.
They got Exo up as well. Billy's a very high level, level 24. Highest level in the game. So we'll see how much that 25 is going to come into effect here. Late game DP can be such an issue to deal with in these team fights. BKB is going to be a huge power spike as well.
Yeah, certainly will be. Does pop the Exo, looking to try and come up onto this high ground here, melt down the tier 3. Have to wait and see if he'll get away with it. Dark Ascension waiting on the backside by Unleashed. Does have it available with the Blink Dagger and the BKB. Sleep connects itself onto Psycho. They might look to collapse. The Glimmer Cape is there to get himself out to safety. There's the Dark Ascension. They're looking to go in here. Andros, Solar Guardian is available if he so chooses. Waiting to activate it, though. First target is going to be MBTW. He's going to go down. No buyback available on the Bloodseeker. And again, Hugh is going to find Kid in the backside. And look at the Solar Guardian radius. No running away from that stun. Hugh with a double kill. And meanwhile, in the base, Billy the Brawler looking a little lost with nowhere to go as Andros TPing in to help finish him off. Pops the Yules, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. And that is going to be GIGACHADELAIDE holding steady.
To the dust return.
That's rough now. I mean, you got DP down for 110 seconds. They might just walk it. They don't push too fast. Spectre's not the greatest hero to take objectives, although Enchant Totem's not the worst either. So you got a huge window regardless on Dire. Glyph not available as well, and you see what happens taking a fight like that. Up on the higher gun, a huge answer. And this is worrying territory right now for UAW. It's going to be a struggle to defend.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See what they can do. I mean, see if Reem just dishing out the damage with that Enchant Totem. The only thing holding the back is the cooldown, but... Oh, they're actually going to reset.
Just grab the tier 3 tower, looking to back off here. And again, Roshan possibly spawning in a minute. Oh my goodness, Reem going forward. Very aggressive indeed. Does pop the Shadow Blade. Protection is there with that Sentry Ward, but Andros with the Solar Guardian going to be able to get him out to safety with the Blink. And again, just trying to create space right now. Moving in for these racks.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Unleashed, dropping the right clicks down. The Enchant Totem doing its best. 3-man Sleep is going to connect, though. This could be big. Massive eruption coming through from ET. Unleashed, popping the BKB. It is nighttime, so he has that ability to dish out the damage. Hugh has to watch out, though. He's getting very low. Spectral Dagger over the wall, but Gubala looking to chase him down. Beautiful taunt. The rest of the damage might just be there. Yes, indeed. Gubala dominating. The rest of GIGACHADELAIDE forced the TP away, and that is going to be UOW once again showing signs of life in this series.
Just another big mistake back and forth. The fact that Dire, I thought they were going to go up high ground with DP down for 70 seconds. That was a dieback as well. They doubled back on the team. Reem jumps with the Spectre, but then they waste an Echo Slam and Solar Guardian, so then they don't have it for that fight that we just witnessed. And now Radiant, they've got a window. 5 against 3, no buybacks on the Spectre and the Earthshaker. This is at least a set, maybe 2.
Yeah, this could be the game as well. Exo popped on Billy the Brawler. This is very, very bad if you're the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup. They have to answer to this. Clovis Noobson, don't give up in the chat. 45 seconds is all the time they have to buy. But again, Death Prophet's such a menace at pushing these towers with the Exo. They're at the very least going to get double racks. It doesn't look like they're going to go for the throne right away. They're just going to go for the safe route, looking to melt down these 2 barracks. Unleashed, waiting off in the wings, does have that Dark Ascension available with the BKB. Smoke is there. And again, this is just the 4, the 5, and the 3. Both big carries are out of the fight for another 20 seconds at least. It's going to be very, very bad if you are on the side of the Dire. GIGACHADELAIDE back against the walls, folks. For anybody that's just tuning into the stream, this is 1-1 in Grand Finals right now. Whoever takes this game will be crowned the champion of the entire 2021 Season 2. That is going to be BKBTP out by MBTW. The rest of the Radiant will have to see if they're just as lucky. It looks like Kid might not be so fortunate as Clovis trying to chase him down. Gubala is there on the wings. Solar Guardian is dropped, though. They're going to look to try and melt down the health bar of Billy the Brawler, and yes, indeed, they will take him down. 90 seconds out of this game with buyback available. They might find Devi Lama as well. The bash connects. This could be a big pick as well. 75 seconds down on ET. But again, these are picks that have buybacks.
They see Mark. They're just going to walk it up. Someone's got to TP back and defend. It will be the Spectre.
It does have
don't
that
have creeps
spectral
at the moment. Someone's got to cut. Gubala, that's your job. He's coming over, recognizing needs to cut the wave. Psycho bodyguarding this one at the moment, but Gubala will get the next.
Certainly will. But again, you know, having a Spectre, this is one thing that's so good about the hero, is you're just able to, you know, make these plays around the map. Gubala TPing out there to safety. He's actually going for the Dagon 5 on the Void Spirit here. What are your thoughts there? Could just be so crazy that it works, maybe, Ares?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this bursts. I'm intrigued on who they target. Because Finger of Death into, with Blood Rage amp as well, that's going to be a ridiculous amount of burst potential. Something to keep in mind. They could just instantly assassinate potentially the Earthshaker. Honestly, anyone. And we were highlighting like how tanky Dire are. We didn't even bring up the Night Stalker when we were going through those heroes. He also has got just the same amount of health as everyone else with these strength heroes. So not easy at all. Dagon will help.
Yeah, and Reem, you know, is just saving for buyback, but he's going to have enough gold where he's going to be able to buy that Silver Edge soon and still have buyback available. Just certainly what you'd like to see.
Look at Dire's wards. It's another instance in this game where they have 4 wards up at the same... Oh, Spectre!
He's looking to go in here. Solar Guardian is popped. Unfortunately, Andros not going to have a great way of getting out of here, but he might not have to as Unleash goes forward. Unfortunately, the Death Prophet is zoned off from this fight with the Exorcism Unleashed, trying to TP out of here on the high ground. And BTW popping the Blood Right and is just going to back away, but meanwhile on the backside, Gubala
timing.
Looking to try and find Psycho here. He will finish him off. Reem Nizzle is going to get out of there to safety. That's going to be 2 kills Andros.
Back on Andros.
Yeah, dead for 2 whole minutes here. 90 seconds dead on Psycho as well with buyback available. And again, they've held with 3 heroes in the past, but only 1 Rax left this time. Have to wonder whether or not Megas are going to be coming through here. That is going to be buyback from Psycho.
Reem's got to go crazy. Reem's got to go crazy.
We've seen $1 million Echo Slams in the past. Not quite $1 million on the line here, but certainly a lot of money. Will he pull it off?
It's difficult. You see how Gubal is setting up the remnants. Device in a position as well to maybe pop a smoke or give them some information. They need a sentry dropped. Reem's going to go up to the northern side. Oh, great spot.
Yeah, he does have a way of getting in here. Looking to fish it in. Does find MBTW. They find themselves the first kill. They're looking to lock up Reem and finish him off, but Solar Guardian might find that a little bit challenging to do. They do kill Reem before he's able to get Echo Slam off, but the buyback is there. He's coming back to the fight. They just have to buy time, and the disengage is there while they're waiting for their position 2. Meanwhile, Davai Lama looking to try and get the step, but here comes Clovis Noopson looking to chase him down, but the BKB a little bit too hard to get through. In comes Reem, though. He has arrived, and there is the Echo Slam. Looking to slam it onto MPTW. 3-man Fisher is there. They're going to collapse in with Unleashed, trying to finish down MPTW, but he has the BKB. He might just be too hard to kill. The healing coming through from Blood Rage is keeping him up, but not for long. He finally goes down. Unleashed. Finger of Death is going to get targeted on him. He's dead. Clovis Noopson now is on Billy the Brawler. He's going to be the next target to go down. There are kills and buybacks left, right, and center. This will probably decide the game, folks, or make it very, very difficult indeed. GIGACHADELAIDE have to win this if they want to keep themselves in the game. Davai Lama, BKB is expired. Billy the Brawler in the backside. In comes Gubala, though, for round 2. Reem Nizzle, no buyback available again. And Gubala is just being the savior of this UOW team. They're somehow kiting out this fight. Double kill for Gubala, and they're going to be able to close this one out 4-2. And I don't think Unleashed and Psycho are going to be able to hold this one for very long. GG's are called, and UOW Esports are your 2021 double back-to-back champions.
Wow. What a game 3 performance. My god, Billy, that last fight, I have to mention, man, what a guy. This Death Prophet, he soloed the Spectre's first life. Soloed. As soon as the Echo was dropped, DP just ran to the backline. It was only the Earthshaker and I think the Dawnbreaker in that Echo. And my god, that was just the huge difference. Kid as well, that last team fight, staying alive the whole time, dropping ridiculous amount of spell casting at such a high level, and UOW to go back to back in 2021. And that is, that's quite the feat.
Yeah, certainly a team, and we'll see if they can keep it up in 2022. That's all I can say, but what a performance. Now, Aries, we've seen 3 games in this series. What are some things that you'd like to highlight between game 1, 2, and 3? I gotta say, consistently, Billy the Brawler being one of the MVPs of this UOW team.
Yeah, I just, everyone had their shining spot as well. I mean, Billy through game 1 and game 3, Gubala, we saw game 1 with his lassos, game 3 with his Void Spirit. We saw in games, game 2 and game 1 as well for GIGACHADELAIDE. There was huge props to how Psycho was playing the Lion. Reem popped off on the Earth Spirit. Literally, you just go back and forth in this series. Everyone played exceptionally well. It just wasn't one person, taking the reins here. It was just a group performance. And UOW, keep in mind, they got knocked down to the lower bracket as well super early on into the playoffs. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was round 2 of the playoffs where UOW got knocked down by GIGACHADELAIDE. They made it all the way through. They had to beat Left Right Goodnight. They beat Looney Mel. They beat UQ Ultimate Chads as well to then find a rematch in the grand finals and then to take it 2-1 against a team that knocked you down to secure back-to-back chips in 2021. That is quite the feat.
Yeah, certainly it was a massive, massive performance from UOW. Big congratulations to the winner. And of course, big congratulations to all of our teams that competed in the AEL Uni League this season for Season 2. Certainly was a great one. We saw some underdogs. We saw some upsets. What more can you ask for out of a great season of esports like this?
Yeah, there's nothing more you can really ask for. The grassroots tournament that continues to provide these Australian players with a opportunity to be able to excel and just grow themselves as a player, as a team, as a teammate. And we're just seeing we're seeing how much they've been able to develop through, a couple of years and now to now. I mean, Gobala's played multiple seasons, Cycle, everyone. You can literally go through, like Mark as well as being there pretty much since the start. You can literally list off so many players who I've had the pleasure of casting through multiple seasons, and to see them develop thanks to the tournament that AEL, of course, have promoted and been able to bring to us. It's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, certainly. And of course, UOW are going to be the team taking home the big prize pool for this tournament. And of course, what a prize pool that is presented to us by none other than our wonderful sponsors. Aries, if you'd like to pay one final mention of the season to those lovely folks.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Chatime, you can make it fruity with Chatime and try the new patch and lychee oolong tea range. Predator to conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming today. AOC, the best viewing experience. With Indomie, you can also win the Ultimate Gamer Package worth 3,500. Show how you game with Indomie Australia. And for more information, you can head over to indomie.com.au and then rig what it takes to win our headset sponsor there. Just, yeah, a huge shout out to all those guys for making it possible, for Chatime, the presenting partner, delivering us a beverage to be able to drink throughout this game and throughout this series, an incredible best of 3. But yeah, none of this would be possible without the sponsors. So for me, I'm sure yourself and everyone else, a huge shout out to them, the people behind the scenes as well. BK, Scoot, everyone else helping out a bunch as well. So thank you very much to them, and yeah, everyone and the players as well. Thank you to you guys.
Yeah, certainly a big thank you indeed. Well, folks, if you liked what you saw and you maybe want to compete in some of the big seasons that Australian Esports League have going on, make sure to follow on all their socials at AU Esports League over on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the works, and of course on Twitch to make sure you don't miss a single stream. AEL Uni and AEL Uni 2. They've got the Uni Leagues going on. I believe, most of the major games have finished up around this time between Dota 2, Rocket League, Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, but they've also got other leagues that are popping up here and there. I know, again, World of Tanks joining a little bit later on into the season, their own league as well. So if you want to make sure that you're not missing a single season to sign up to, head over to AU Esports League to make sure you drop a follow and don't miss a single event that they've got going on. And you too could be in this kind of winning position, playing it from home, and of course, winning some great prizes with your friends, playing some great games. But as well as that, of course, you can follow us, Kadius, Carson, Aries HD, there to follow what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. But until then, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, and we'll have to catch you next time.